There we go. We're live. All right, let's just 1 second here. I'm gonna get my things up and running. Let's just 1 second here. Right, it's gonna copy this one right here and make a tweet. 1 second. There we go. Okay, welcome. We're gonna let people have a chance to come into the stream here. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff going on. It is a happy rescue day. And yeah, so we're gonna get to it all. EVC news, welcome in. I've got about a 47-page long document of just sure raw knowledge and news here that we're gonna start to get through here, and it's gonna be a good stream here tonight. There's a lot to get through. However, you may get your mind blown. So just if you don't have your stuff, get your stuff now. Enjoy the show. It's gonna start to get long, and yesterday we heard that big attack. Of course, we're gonna get to that. However, first, Ukraine armed forces continue offensives in the south. Video from the front line. God protect and help armed forces of Ukraine. We have a video from the front line. Major attacks along the front line here today, and it is just getting better and better. So let me show you here. We have a video here from, this is of course, Russian ribbon, because why not? Happy Rescue Day. We're going to get to that. Don't worry. We're going to get to that. So here you have it. You have blowing up a lot of stuff. This is Russian stuff all blowing up, of course. So they're moving and they're moving and they're moving. We have got the accurate amount of places that they have moved. We're going to get on deep state later. And, you know, kinds of great videos coming out from Ukraine. Weapons coming in. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. There you go. These are videos from the front line. There we have it. All right. And yeah, I got there's videos of these coming out. And it is good to see, you know, it's good to see. So, let's move on to some other news. Ukraine Air Command South released footage from an S-300 intercept of a Russian cruise missile over Odessa Oblast. There's been a mass attack throughout the night over Odessa Oblast and in Kharkiv and along the front line and in Ukraine. 8 to 9 Tu-95s were active yesterday and fired. There was a confirmed 4 cruise missiles attack that hit the ground. A total number of 38 explosions reported. However, I believe it may have been quite, you know, extensively more. I have a quote from a Ukrainian who lives in Ukraine who made a tweet saying there's so many explosions. We heard that live yesterday. If you want to go watch that, we can do that after stream. We go now. You can hear me literally listen to like 100 explosions just throughout the night yesterday. It was insane. Yeah. So we have a video here from a Ukrainian. So ours technical here. Air Command South released footage showing an S-300 intercept of a Russian cruise missile over a blast. Sorry. Boom. That is. Boom. There you go. Yeah. And they're getting better at it, and they're just, you know, I mean, it's beautiful to see how great the Ukrainians are getting at precision airstrike and air defense. However, yesterday, interesting stuff happened. We believe that there may have been some loops that the Russians are trying to find in the air defense systems. However, we are still looking into that. Ukraine strikes on 2 Russian Book M3 air defense systems, and JDAM strikes on Russian precisions. So we have another video here. I'm going to get through this because we have a lot to get through. So, you know, just to give you the rundown. Just get a general idea of what's going on in Ukraine right now. Ukraine is kicking their ass, you know. So these are videos and coming out there. You can see. Just, I mean, the Russians are getting the hand handed to them. That's what they are. These are especially some of the areas that we've seen that the Ukrainians seem to have been specializing in, and the Russians are, you know, seems to not be very specialized in it, because these are air defense systems, and you know, they're allowing what appears to be drones flying right over their head. So there's not, you know, not that great of an air defense systems when you think about it. Really not that great. And these are just gone up in smoke steering. You can definitely see something happen down here because with the constant, I believe that may have been fire, and it's just because the camera is, you know, having to pick it up. There you go. You can see some more moving down there, just auto locking onto it, and it's going to get a good shot on it, I think. It's going to get a good shot on it. It's already smoking, it seems. Like you got some kind of fire up top. Look at that. We see the men running out there. Don't worry. There's not going to be any dead people there particularly, but they're just leaving the system behind. I mean, they're, you know, that's insane. Another big explosion happening in the occupied territories there. Oh, it's just, I mean, it's great to see Ukrainians are getting so proficient with their strikes. I mean, this Slavy Ukraina, you can go watch on Twitter. She is doing a great job reporting here. Just auto locking there, so Russian precision there as well. You can see them helping out. You can see them that this is a vehicle that used to be there. It's no longer there. Buildings that used to be there. These are headquarters, I believe, and you know where the Russians are held up. You know, I think the Ukrainians are definitely stating to the Russians, "You're done. I mean, your air defense systems are almost non-existent anymore, and we're able to strike you wherever we want to strike you." And that's the message that the Ukrainians are giving out, and it's a strong statement. Okay, so stuff are getting better. Khmelnytskivka, Donetsk region, liberated. This is from the Ukrainians. They have liberated a town in Donetsk. This is the areas that we know. Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and in the Luhansk region along Kharkiv is where we have known that the Ukrainians are making great headway. Here you have it. I'm pretty sure we can watch this. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, it's just these guys standing here. So, check this out. I don't speak Ukrainian, but you can imagine what he's saying is that they're taking back the area. These are all different regiments. They have their own flags, and you got the Ukrainian flags, of course. You can hear the gunfire in the background as well if you listen closely. Listen, that wasn't over here, by the way. That was there. That was in the video right there. You can hear the gunfire and the explosions, just shells hitting the ground just behind them. Take a look at the scenery as well. I mean, these are, you know, war-torn, really war-torn. I mean, take a look at that right there. It looks like to be some kind of old church, maybe, or a house, a big house, something. I don't know. It certainly looks older. You hear that? Boom. They're just non-reacting. I mean, it's...
вогневого ураження. Але ми стоїмо міцно, твердо та впевнено, адже це наша земля. Слава Збройним силам України! Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
These are Slava Ukraina is definitely one of the statements that we know of. To point out, there has been apparently I don't know, 86. I believe that what had happened was that it was air defense systems that was up. However, I have no idea why they called an all clear. It may have been a system fuck up in this one right here. I've got no idea why they called an all clear. They even stated it on Twitter. They called an all clear, even though we continued to hear explosions. And I've heard that there was a continuous 38 explosions. This was from Flash reports that said that there was 38, you know, confirmed explosions. However, we're gonna get to that. You know, and this has been going on all night, basically. You know, Tu-95s came over for the Caspian Sea with their launch zones, fired their cruise missiles and missiles attack. You know, naval, air, and land, ground, all kinds of multiple system mass attack, and they still called it all clear, which was in saying I had a tweet from that person who said that there were so many explosions was posted after they put off the air defense. They said that it was all clear. So I mean, it certainly seems like one of those tactics, right, of the Russians. If when you think about it, if you were the enemy and you were able to get access to your air defense, and you were able to send a message to Ukrainian people saying it's all clear while you're shelling the city. You know, that's you know. So I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they called it all clear while we could still hear explosions. If what we heard was air defense. However, if what we heard was air defense, it's not an all clear scenario, because if air defense is still going up, the air raids, first of all, needs to still be going on, and second of all, needs to, you know, they need to make sure that the air raid and stay in shelter is continuously reported. You know, so yeah, don't know. But it was also reported that perhaps what we were hearing wasn't in Kharkiv and actually took place down towards Odessa while also taking place along here. However, there was no other there was no other of these. None of these were on, so it didn't really make sense. Maybe they were targeting Luhansk. I don't know, but Luhansk region isn't taken by Ukrainians, so it's really weird. I mean, we have these regions on right now. There's explosions in Kherson, which is could be on the Russian or the Ukrainian side, not sure, not really specified. Massive attacks in Odessa as well. I've got no idea, and I don't know what happened, but we'll get to it. I've got some reports of it. It's a weird thing because it seems like they're trying to report on it while they don't really know what happened. So I got a lot of flash reports. He said something, so I'll get to it. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, let's move on until we get to that, because I got so much to get through. Russian Strela 10 SAM is being demilitarized. So here you go. There's another video here. Got some of these videos here. So check this out. This is, you know, actually, when you blow up a tank, and if the standard way of blowing these tanks up, if the ammo inside of the tank cooks off, this is how it looks like. So you see how the fire is just spewing up, like it's intensified, like you're opening up an oven. You know, so yeah, look at that fire just spewing up there. That's what happens when you cook off the ammo inside. Now this doesn't really look like a tank. This looks like some kind of armored vehicle. So I've got no idea why the fire inside is so intense. If they were storing ammo inside or something like that, could be something. Definitely looked like it. These are still our tent, so they're not a tank, but you know, certainly they could have had some kind of rocket system. So I don't know, something, because that fire right there, you know, look how intense it is. You know. That thing still looks like it could explode. I wouldn't want to not walk near something that was spewing fire like that. However, that is Russian, and again, Russians are being destroyed. We have another cool video here I have some other news on the Russian, which are some of the interesting news coming out as well. So the French 155mm self-built gun Caesar is in service with the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Also noted that the Danish has also delivered some Caesar systems. However, our system was a bit more modern because we are simply better. No. But this is a Caesar system as well from the, I mean, look at the gun on these things as well. I mean, the gun of the Danish one is much smaller. It's faster and it can move, man. But look at the gun on this thing right here. It starts there, right? Take a look at the gun. It ends there. Like, holy shit. I mean, it's a beast. You know, it's a fucking beast. I mean, that gun right there, especially the range that can go at, and especially what it can carry, because it's thick too. You know. I mean, that's, you know. I take a look at that. I would not want to be on the wrong end of that right there. Look at that. I mean, that's a self-propelled. And by the way, oh, there you go. You got it going off there at the end. Boom. I mean, that looks like a different. I don't know if that was the same system though, because it looked a little bit different. But you know, you get it. You get it. It was you know, that's what the Ukrainians are working with right now. So you gotta understand why the Russians don't feel so good. However, there are more reports of the Russians strengthening some defenses here. The Russian Federation is strengthening its defense position in the occupied Tokmak British intelligence. Tokmak is preparing to become a backbone of Russia's second main line of defense. Roadblocks and anti-tank fortifications are being installed around the settlement. So this is, in many ways, good news. So you remember the area up here, which I've shown you on Deep State. This area down here is the one that we are, watching. And the area down here is the one that they are now focusing, intensely on, which makes a good scenario. I've talked about, this area here before. This is Ropitani, down in Zaporizhia region. So what this means is that the Russians are preparing for the main line to fall. So the Russians can pull back. They're losing too much, and here they're outstretched and they're not in defensive positions. I believe their hopes are to fall back to this position right here, and maybe even fall back to this position and in this city right here, and create this impenetrable line is their hope. Pretty much what happened in Kherson, just giving area to the Ukrainians because the Russians can't hold against a superior army with superior weapons while they're so understrength and undersupplied. Having to hold, it's kind of like having to lift something you can't lift. When you're at the gym and you want to try and lift something you can't lift, then you ask for help from somebody, but there isn't any help. And then you think maybe there's some machine that can help me lift it, but that machine hasn't been delivered yet. There's nothing that can help you. Nobody's there to help you. How are you going to lift it? You can't. Okay, what do you do then? Well, you go, you work your way back, right? You get some, you get some groundwork, and then you can start to lift it. Meanwhile, what you're really doing is going back, taking some of the plates off, making the plate smaller, and giving yourself an easier chance to defend, an easier chance to lift. So that's the scenario, and that's what we're looking at. So this is what's going on here, and that's good signs. It's great signs, actually. I've another video here to show. Not a video here. More explosions tonight in Sevastopol, occupied Crimea, home to Russian Black Sea Fleet, and it is a big boy. It is, huge. You can't really see the scale of it, but just imagine the person took this video right here, picture, was far away. We got a close-up of it here as well. This is from another one. The person here that took this picture was far, far away, really far away. So it is a big fire going on. We've got no idea. We may think it's an oil depot, is what I've heard, but I've got no idea. We just know that it's happening, and it's been everybody's been reporting it. So it's a big boy, and people are saying it's a big explosion. Take a good look at that right there. Okay, and there's another funny video here. Ukrainian soldiers fired javelin from a javelin HEGM from a tree. I want you to take a look at this right here. I found this video here. It's from Clash Report. Take a look at this. This is from Clash Report here. I want to give the credit to Ray.
Рома, ебать!
He's on a tree, right?
Рома, ебать!
I mean, I wouldn't.
Рома, ебать!
I mean, you got a good defensive position right there, Yeah, you're quite far up. You just gotta make sure that you're standing, and if you're doing that, you gotta be sitting. You gotta be sitting, so you get some support, because that thing does have some knockback. It's a big boy. I mean, it's actually a very strategically smart, because you can see the battlefield, and yeah, that's also some of the things that the Ukrainians are doing. Innovating using what they have. I mean, it's not really an innovation. It's really just them sitting in a tree firing because you have the high ground. There's some explosion reported in Odessa. It seems that the attacks are not yet done. Alright, yeah. So we have the aftermath of the J-18 guided bomb strike on the occupiers' location in Svitlodarsk and Donetsk region. We have some video. We have a video of that here. Gonna close some tabs real quick. So here you have it. These are from the Donetsk region, and these are the aftermath. This is in the Russian occupied area. I'm going to turn down the sound a bit because it sounds quite loud. here you have it. I mean, this is a whatever this is, the retaliation from the Ukrainian here, and they have just leveled. I mean, it is a level. I believe that these are from Telegram. I think this is from a Russian Telegram. War life. So I mean, it is destroyed. It appears. Yeah, and that's this video we saw from before, and that's the aftermath of the video that we saw of the Ukrainians firing back. Now, the one thing you gotta note about the Ukrainians is that the things that they were firing at, while it does look like the buildings are destroyed, and that's a collateral damage, however, what you gotta note, what they really were firing at was headquarters and, vehicles. So, compared to the Russians that only fire on buildings, this is a much more strategically sound target, because these are all soldiers right here, and they're fighting a war. So this is I mean, the factor is that the Ukrainians are operating so deep within occupied territory is insane. It's insane that they're allowed to occupy. We had to believe that the Russians were the second best army in the world, which they're obviously not, right? And then we had to believe that because everybody was telling us that, they're the second best army in the world, right? They're still the second best army in Ukraine, and they're allowing, the Ukrainians to put their pressure so far into the occupied lines. It's insane, so really a put on the, oh yeah, there's some great news coming out from Ukraine here as well. Ukraine puts an end to Russia's monopoly on the nuclear fuel market. A historic event. For the first time, non-Russian fuel was loaded into VVER 440 nuclear unit at the Ravine nuclear power plant. It was produced by the Westinghouse with the participation, there we go, of Ukraine specialists. So yeah, take a look at this as well. So these are a video that came out today. Slava Ukraine there reported this. Thank you. I can't really show the music, but here you have it. It's a ROTS, I think. Yeah, and these are, because the Russians were the ones who would produce this. Now they're trying to move it away from them. So now what they're doing is giving the chance for the Ukrainians to do this, and it's a historic event because it means that not only are the Ukrainians turning away from Russia in such a drastic event, it means that the world can turn away from Russia when it comes to not only nuclear fuel, but it comes also down to, this video is not really great, but you get the point of it.
Reactors, which can now have a full solution for волі росіян. Те, що цей день до швидких санкцій.
I'm gonna watch the guy who speaks.
Ukraine, but for the whole of Europe, where there are 33 reactors, which can now have a full solution for diversifying their supply.
Yeah, so that right there is also what they're pointing out. Diversifying supply, not only for Ukraine but for the world. So these specialists being able to diversify their supply and not buying from Russia is a certainty that we needed. So now that we have gotten that down, or at least in the starting phase of that, it means that we can, successfully move away from any sort of Russian fuel when it comes to the nuclear reality, So yeah, they no longer have a monopoly. Well, they probably still have at the moment, but in a few years or months they may not. So great stuff. Ukraine attacked an oil depot in a linear region of the Russian Federation. Russian media reports the governor of the region, Andriy Klishnikov, that's actually his name, said that the drone fell on the non-residential object in the rail district. According to him, the place of the fall was surrounded. There was no victims. Kherson region as well has gotten a sort of explosion here on the Ukrainian side. So here you have it. These are, I believe, the aftermaths of it, at least, but the fire having here in the oil depot. Take a look at that. Is Ukrainians or Russian separatists? We don't know. Ukrainian separatists, we don't know. but we believe that and when we were talking about a drone, we believe that it was, in fact, the Ukrainians that were able to, again, assert their power and say, we know where you hide your stuff. Aside from it, lighting up the night sky, it is a powerful statement again from the Ukrainians using their stuff wisely. Okay, so we have some other stuff here. Okay, almost 900 hectares of agricultural land has been demined in the Kharkiv region in general. In Kharkiv region, demined more than 6,800. Wow, that can't really be. How 6.8 thousand. Okay, there we go. Hectares of territory from the 109,000 explosives objects has been destroyed. In particular, now the settlement of Tishyakuni and Kharkiv regions completely demined within the framework of the experimental project on restoration of settlement. More than 2.9 thousand kilometers of power lines and more than 288 kilometers of gas lines have been demined in the region. This has already made it possible to restore gas supply to the 78% of consumers and electricity supply to about 90% of the consumers in the deoccupied territories. This is coming out from Ukraine, and they are doing the works that we know that they can do and are continuing to do. So they are doing a great job here again. Just showing their resilience here. And these are, again, a commemoration to the rescue workers and the workers that are doing a great job lately with the demining projects that they've gotten going here. So we have another one here. Romania 122 MLRS APR-40 works in Zaporizhzhia direction. So check this out right here. We have, this is from Romania. Boom, boom. So this is coming out. I don't know if I can listen to that music. Boom, 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 boom. Really, she's the aftermath there as well. I mean, that looked a little bit like a cluster. I mean, I don't know if they're firing cluster. I don't know. These are like rocket systems here, but these are, it's the Russians again, Ukrainians are just incredibly good at, relying on whatever they have to do whatever they need to do. They're very inventive. You gotta give them that. The trajectory of the Russian K-101 missile, which was launched tonight from the Caspian Sea, Russia are looking for ways to pass their defense system. So check this out. So this is one thing that we are looking into here. So they're coming in over, and they're doing this, sort of weird flight path, So they're looking for ways to, get over the densely packed air defense systems that has been provided not only by Patriot systems, but other ground-based systems that are being, utilized throughout Ukraine. These are, the Russian, I think what they're talking about here is that they've got shot down here. I'm not really sure, though. But yeah, as you can see, this is, a weird flight path to be even taken. But apparently they're trying to figure out what route they could take to get to the end of Ukraine. Because before, that was the whole deal that Russia had. The whole, oh, yeah, we can strike you wherever we want. But nowadays, the idea that the Russians are able to strike them wherever they want is just unbelievably false. Because if anything, if Russia is going to get any hits in, they need to fire, a volume that is impossible to shoot down. So that's why every Russian attack is usually at the 30 mark. 30 drones, because that's when you get to a point where it's hard to shoot down. However, last time we had a report of them. There was 30 drones that got shot towards Ukraine, and Ukraine shot down 28. So, the Russians, they really, really have to fire a lot to just get a few things through. Before in the war, when they didn't have the Patriot systems, the necessary air defense systems, these systems, Russia was able to strike them wherever they wanted, with some ease, right? And there were some of them got shut down. However, that is so changed now that Russia are not even able to make it through, the basic lines of what they want to get to. So it's weird. It's really weird. But yeah. But there's no other way to put it. Ukrainian defense systems, air defense systems, I think was overwhelmed last night. But yeah, we'll keep looking into it. Okay, the Russians are setting up those Mask 23, by the way. Do want to point that out on Twitter. I reported that. The Russians are setting up additional checkpoints and digging new trenches. The occupiers preparing for the Ukrainians' offensives in Tomak, Zaporizhia region and strengthening the defense around the city. Tomak is preparing to become a support of the Russian second main defense line. The strengthening of the city defense probably indicates Russian concern about a tactical penetration by Ukraine into the first main defense line, says the summary of British. This is British intelligence, by the way. This is not just this is not just anybody. This is British intelligence coming out with the reports here. It's from Mia Druska on Twitter. Thank you so much. There's some Dessa right there. They're running. Okay, so yeah, that's what I've been talking about here. They're getting ready. The Ukrainians are inevitably going to break through the line. J-Damps destroyed. HQ in Svletsk, Donetsk region. Footage destroyed. I think I've seen that one. These are the we got the inactive we have the estimates of the Russian combat losses of September 17th of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, from the Armed Forces of Ukraine. And here, this is not off the Armed Forces, of the Russian losses in Ukraine as of 17. This is also an old one, so it's not estimated that this could be could be old, So we have, according to, that was a 9 a.m. estimate or something like that, 530 troops, 4 APV, 12 vehicles and fuel tanks, 4 tanks, 15 artillery systems, 4 UAVs, 2 MLRS, 2 anti-aircraft warfare, I think we saw the video of that, and 5 special equipments, and 1 submarine somewhere. Well, that was earlier, not today. They haven't destroyed another one, but you get it. Yeah, so again, they're giving it the business. So it's it's amazing that the Russians keep losing everything every day. Explosions in the Sevasar joint operation of the GSD and Navy mass media on Cape Full Lind, where the explosions were heard. The 26th Marine Radio Tactical Detachment is based, and also there's a radio technical station with 12 radar antennas stated in the message. So this is before and after videos as well that we can see. Well, not before and after, but the images of radar systems and stuff like that in the area. So yeah, this is the targets that's been, Ukraine is targeting these areas, and we are all for it. So I think these are radar systems right there. Yeah. Maybe reports of explosions around that. So they're very precisionized about it. They figure out where the Russian positions are, the Russian satellites, the Russian anti-aircraft, the Russian, really anything that can stop them from doing something. What is that? I don't know. It's just the fact that they have a plan. You see, they're taking the oil platforms, right? They've taken out 2 S-400 systems. They've damaged 3 ships. They're turning the ships away. They're damaging in Sevastopol in almost on a daily basis. They're taking out anti-aircraft systems, all kinds of things inside Crimea. Capabilities just were cleared the way for more drones and rocket attacks. And again, yes, this will clear the way. You can definitely see that they've taken out the systems along here. Russia does not have enough to caper out the losses that they're gonna, if that's lost, either that's because they want to target the bridge, or they've got a plan. And we're not gonna say what, because I don't know. However, I've kept an eye on this. I said it about 3 days ago that I really, really strongly believe that some kind of, in some scale, some kind of amphibious attack is coming. I can't say what, can't because I don't really know until it happens. But yeah, I think some kind of amphibious assault is happening. This is the groundwork. Not in the near future, but in some, well, maybe in the near future, but in some time probably. But we're gonna keep an eye on it. And also, there was a report here at Silent Suits Russian artillery that there was an official 6,000 artillery systems destroyed. So that's 6,000 artillery systems from the Russian army that has officially been destroyed, which is, you know, if you don't know what 6,000 is, it's a lot. In military terms, 6,000 of anything is a lot. You know, the only thing that wouldn't be a lot of is personnel, even though 6,000 people, when you have an army, you know, it's still large numbers. So if anything, a 6,000 piece of equipment when it comes to, you know, equipment, you know, tanks that with your guns and your you know, the pride of your army is being destroyed, and you lost 6,000 of them. That's a lot. That's a lot. Ukraine long-range artillery hit and destroyed in the past 3 days anti-aircraft missile system, 9 artillery system, 1 ammunition depots, and 1 electronic warfare station at the Russian forces. The International Court of... Oh, okay, so another one here. The International Court of Justice resumed hearing on Ukraine lawsuit against Russia. It is about the conversation of the prevention and punishment of the crime of genocide. Ukraine asked the court to hold Russia accountable for distorting the concept of genocide. The hearings will be held in 2 rounds. Russia will have the floor on September 18th and September 25th, and Ukraine will speak on the September 9th and 19th and 27th. So this is quite an important time. Not sure how much it's going to do, but however, it is still an important time that they're standing trial for what they've done. And these are, of course, the Bucha murders and stuff like that. Stories we all know about. Let's see a train moving in the Donetsk region there. I don't know what it's doing there. There's a train moving there. You see that? Is that grain or is that grain? Look at that. Is that grain? Moving? No, it's empty, is it? I wonder what that is. Look at that. Looks like it's empty. Looks like it's maybe going back. Ukrainian Army Aviation Mi-24P hidden gunship attack door gunner operations. Again here, another one. This is a so this is just to show you a video of how that looks. Look at that guy, by the way. Look at it. Look at his helmet. It's really cool. As a beauty of a look at his helmet. Beast. And it's a cool ass helmet right there. Oh yeah. The insights of how this looks. Yeah. They know what they're doing. Don't get it wrong. They know what they're doing. It's really cool. It's really cool. Okay, so last November, the Biden administration pledged to refurbish 215 1,117 vehicles. So not, okay, so M1117 vehicles and send them to Ukraine. They arrived in Ukraine in the spring of 25. Yeah, so the vehicles transportation is what they're talking about here. However, I do want to note that, yes, you are talking about the by the way, these are pictures of how they look right here. Donated. These are the F300. Okay, so these are not. Okay, so these are other systems as well. This is the M113. These are similar systems that Biden administrations want to. So, point out here is that what they're talking about here is that, you know, oh yeah, we're gonna give it to you, but it's gonna be into 2025. And while people are getting a bit mad at this, you also have to remember that our long-term idea of Ukraine is to be able to defend itself on a long-term scale and pledging, things throughout in the future is that we're also preparing for Ukraine to be part of NATO. Of course, I would want these systems to go to Ukraine as soon as possible because Ukraine needs them. However, I want to point out that we want to make sure that when this is all said and done, Ukraine has enough equipment and, a lot of modern equipment to ensure that in 2025, when this war is very likely over, I mean, I hope so, that they're able to, say that we have enough equipment. We are now such a proficient army that we have enough to be part of NATO. That's the end goal, to be able to supply Ukraine with enough to be part of NATO. So we also have to maybe look at that as a sort of but you get it. Ukraine has changed the nature of modern warfare and is on the way to victory. Chairman of NATO Military Committee Bauer, he noted that the Russian troops continue to lose more and more positions in the temporarily occupied territories. Russia itself is suffering from the economic impact of sanctions and diplomatic isolation. Russia is forced to cooperate with unreliable international actors and increasingly increase its own dependence on them. So this is him, by the way, right here, the man of the hour. And this is not from anybody. This is from Chairman of NATO Military Committee Bauer. So he's a high up there military guy. He's been in the military for a long time, and he knows what he's talking about. So this is coming out from some of those guys. And again, it's true because Russians, in fact, has been losing more than they can afford to lose, and we know that billions and billions of dollars. So don't get me wrong, they're losing. So it's a very true statement here coming out, and Ukraine is certainly giving them the business and winning, I'd say. Highlights of the night here. I got this from Flash News here. Explosions were heard in Kharkiv, Odessa, Mykolaiv, and the Dnipro regions, which are what areas that we may have heard sounds from yesterday. U.S. naval forces, European and Danish armed forces will conduct joint convoy protection exercises using the modern containerized missile launcher SM-6, which will begin on September 18th on the island of Bornholm, which is just outside of Denmark in the Baltic Sea. A press release of the U.S. 6th Fleet. So this is that's general business here going on. Kim Jong-un discussed with Shogi the strengthening of military cooperation between the DPRK and Russia. Yonhap reported. So I've also got more videos from Kim Jong-un later on tonight. As a result of severe flooding in northeastern Libya, more than 38,000 people were forced to leave their homes. This reported by Xinhua, with reference to the International Organization for Migration, also for Flasher. Yeah, so they're still going on with it. Saudi Arabia has just launched its first aid ship has landed in Liberia, I believe, and Turkey as well, and other nations are quick and has responded and are very likely going to come there to help. I believe some world organizations as well as they're gone down there. So let's hope we're figuring out. There's certainly cost and migration problem right now, and we're going to look into that as well. There's more videos coming out of that. Okay. Ukraine armed forces expand bridge hit near Robotyne, ISV. In recent weeks, the Ukrainian military may have achieved significant tactical breakthrough in the current Russian-occupied defense line near Robotyne, Zaporizhia region, and continue to expand the bridgehead. So far, the gap has extended by 2.6 kilometers of the enemy's positions, and these are things that we have seen. So yeah, these are true systems. They're going forward. We're going to get to look at that later. The parade of previously unknown Russian air defense system losses continues. The presumably 98316 of the 9K317 Book M2 Zaporizhia Oblast joint 37 kilometers from the front line in June. And these are, what he's saying here is that the systems are launched, and these are systems that are lost. A shooting battle between the 3rd Spartan NSU Brigade and Russian forces in Zaporizhia direction. We have a video of this here. Don't worry, there are no people that got hurt in the video. It is a clean to watch video. Oh, we have areas going off in Ukraine today. We'll turn that up here for a bit to you guys. Appears that it may be in Zaporizhia or Donetsk. So let's keep an eye on that for a little bit now. We're gonna go on with the news, of course, but just so you know, I think Kramatorsk City, so it seems to be in Donetsk that they are on right now. These are Ukraine is turning on all the way down here at large scale explosions as well. Alright, well, we're gonna get you that video. And we're gonna have that in background here, let you know if anything happens. But let's play from the start here. So nobody gets hurt. Everything's alright in the video. Don't worry. It is a shootout. However, there's nothing to worry about when it comes to injuries. Just know if you're extremist. These are the Russians firing back. The Russians and Ukrainians fire back at each other. Firing out of this position right there. This group right here is called the Spartan group. Fierce warriors. So pretty cool. Oh, sorry. Halfway prepared for new attacks on the energy sector. This is a statement from Olesha Karshenko, director of the Center of Energy Studies, told whether we have prepared for new possible shelling of energy sectors, how long it usually takes to prepare the country for energy sector. So these are a video that came out from this guy right here. However, the only problem is that the video is not in any language that we can understand. We'll watch it, just so we have watched it. I believe what he's saying, he's talking about the preparation for attacks on energy sector, what we read, and he's talking about the preparation for that. I don't speak Ukrainian, so I don't know.
Тому що обсяг робіт настільки великий, що те, що зроблено від максимального обсягу, є там 20-30%. Але за той час, що ми працювали, той час, що в нас був із тим ресурсом, на який ми могли розраховувати, зроблено максимум. Чи підготувались ми до
Yeah, so, don't really know what he's saying, but if anybody does and you get to watch that, please let me know. I did not get the English translation for that. Erdogan, Zelensky, and Lavrov will come to New York. Zelensky is going to be there on the 21st. I have no idea when Lavrov and Erdogan is to be there, but they're also reported to be there at some time. Don't know if they're going to be at the same time, but yeah, they're planning something at least, or yeah. Latest defense intelligence update on the situation in Ukraine, September 17. We have intel from the British intelligence forces here. Recent day, Russian forces has likely reinforced the defenses occupied around Tomak. This is one thing we have read. Russia is likely deploying additional checkpoints, anti-tank defenses, and digging new trench in the area, which is held by the 85th Combined Arms Army, to become a linchpin of Russia's second main line of defense improvement to the town. Defense likely indicates Russia growing concern about Ukraine's tactical penetration. Yeah, so these are things we have read, and these are updates that comes out. If you want to go follow that, they're the British Defense on Twitter, Defense Intelligent on Twitter. Ukraine struck and fuel depot in Oryol, Russia a few hours ago. The Russian fuel shortage at the front line is getting worse and worse, is what they're also reporting. Is it? How could we know? because it is. It's getting much worse. This is the same video, but it's without the watermark as well. The same video. So these are, you know. So, yeah. Again, same video we have seen, but just to give you the rundown of that. Ukraine launched a drone attack against Moscow region a couple hours ago. All airports in Moscow, Vukovo, Domodedovo, and Sheremetyevo were forced to shut down operation, and Russian airline industry is losing millions of dollars every time these drone attacks occurs. So, yeah. And, you know, this is their beliefs that the Ukrainians are going to strike their airports. Because why wouldn't they? They wouldn't. Well, if there's strategic military targets, I believe. But I don't think they're going to strike an airport just because. Russian army shells Sumy Oblast, killed one civilian, injured one on September 17. Russian military shelled civilian infrastructure in Ukraine in Velika Peshirika community in Sumy Oblast with artillery. The region military administration reported on Facebook. So again, this is, you know, they're now using the artillery to strike against targets inside Ukraine from their border again. Ukraine MRAP with infantry evacuation injury soldiers comes under Russian artillery fire close to the tanks were used in earlier attack. Also visible, it confirms that the Ukraine forces have moved further. Sure, can I show this? Yes, I can. So here you have another video here, and this is just videos that we are getting in from all over the place. Check this out. Lead that right there are Russians running up. I'm not really sure. That's Ukrainian. It could be Ukrainian. Some Ukrainians striking there. I am in the view that Ukrainians targeting the Russian position there. By the way, I just want to take a moment here. Look at the landscape. You know, I mean, the scale of this war is insane. But just look at the landscape. You know, it is pampered with holes and holes beyond holes, and that's also why, you know, you wonder why can't they choose another route, because this route right here is the only paved that they have. It's kind of paved, right? So you can see that they've used it so many times, because the only area that they really can use that isn't completely holed up, because all you can imagine driving over here, you're not going to get through that. You know, I know these are off-road, but they're not, you know, anti-hole proof, you know. So again, yeah, and you're also using the holes, by the way, to cover. But yeah, take a look at the landscape, and just the holes after holes after holes, and another explosion is there. It's insane. Look at that. That got hit. Probably gonna ban. They're driving it back. It appears maybe. Oh, there you go. I got hit as well. Yeah, it's continuing, and I wouldn't want to be the Russian. I wouldn't be the Russian. Kokika region also there now. The area around here is turning on. Or, no, that's just changed color. I think it's been on for a while. Yeah. A drone fell down in Voronezh region. Russia device fell in Novishman district this morning. According to the governor, there were no casualties or damage. I have a picture of that. So this fell down in Russia today. There's a drone either shot down or failed. Looks like there's a bullet hole. Not sure though, but sometimes they don't always get it, you know. So now it's official. Clichy has officially been liberated. The Russian has reported the soldiers of the Luter Brigade, the 18th Air Assault Brigade, and the 15th Separate Mechanized. The settlement of Klishnikivka. Holy shit. The next region was finally liberated by the Russian occupiers, by the force of the 80th Separate Amphibious Assault Brigade on the 5th Separate Assault Brigade, the United Assault Brigade of the National Police of Ukraine. Lunit put the enemy constantly tries to cause maximum damage to our soldiers and use all possible means of fire damage. So yeah. I think it's the same video, maybe. That's the video we have seen. But yeah, these are official coming in here. The process of training Ukrainian pilots on F-16s have gaining momentum and made great progress. So these are also coming in, and that's great to hear. I have a lot to read here, so sit back here. It's a big list for me to read here. Yeah, that's it. It's gonna blow your fucking mind, okay? A lot. The enemy lost 19 units of military equipment in the Tyrant direction of the Ukrainian military, continues to inflict significant losses on the Russian occupiers, both in terms of manpower and equipment. During the last day, several armored vehicles, artillery system, and enemy drones were destroyed. This was announced by the commander of the regional and strategic group of troops of Tavri Olensta, Sanda Tanarishki. In the telegram, in total, the artillery units of the defense forces of Tavria direction completed 791 fire mission during the day. And the last day, the losses of the enemy amount to 196 people, 57 dead, 138 wounded. And Tarnavishki, the enemy lost 19 units of military equipment. 19 units of enemy military equipment were destroyed, in particularly 2 BBM, 2 artillery systems and mortars, 13 BPLA, 1 unit of automotive equipment and 1 unit of special equipment. And Tarnavishki, at the same time, over the past day, Russian troops attacked the position of Ukrainian defenders in the Travia direction 15 times and carried out 533 shellings, carrying out 15 airstrikes, as reported by the Armed Forces of Ukraine, attacked a large army with smaller forces while having many times less capabilities in terms of air support. Purposefully, actions of our fighters helped them achieve party. Why can't it just be normal fucking words? I'm not English. Parity. I don't know. With the enemy in terms of artillery, although until recently it was believed that the Russian Federation had many times greater advantages. By the way, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Mac Miller, noted that the negotiations between the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and the Russian dictator, Vladimir Putin, could lead to Pyongyang handing over 152mm artillery shells to Moscow. However, it is difficult to say to the extent this may affect the country's situation. Such actions are unlikely to have much significance in the country's current situation. Rundown there. I know you didn't get all of it, but I just gave you a rundown, basically what's happening. Holy shit. Don't know why I chose to read that. That was a lot. And there's more. At night and in the morning, Russia carried out, and this is from yesterday, I believe, so listen up. At night, Russia carried out 4 attacks on border. 28 explosions were recorded in Suma, Seradani, Buda, Yunakavi, Kivka, Kochin, I don't know what these names are, just Krasny, Polia, communities came under fire in Ukraine. Ukrainians are clearing up, yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. We have another picture for those guys you saw earlier in that video there. Again, this is the same area, it's just where they're facing that one. Just want to show you that as well. Separate one as well. So pretty cool. Yeah. A 19-year-old man was wounded in Kherson as a result of shelling by Russian army around 16 o'clock. Roman Moroshkov, the head of the Kherson City Military Administration, reported at the time of the arrival he was on the street. He's currently wounded in hospital, Morokov writes. Okay, so there was another one here. The launch of shaded type UAV from the south recorded. The estimated time announced of the air alert in the southern region is 00 Kiev time. The clock, it was at that time 21:10 right now. I think what we heard just here a second ago was when there was could be 00 that we heard that there was some air raids going off. So I believe that may have been the UAVs that they were talking about there. And so get to the consequences of the attacks of those. Unfortunately, people were not injured, but particularly infrastructure was damaged. There was no injury. However, a grain storage, land and grain storage. So these are pictures. This is a field right here, but this is a house. And look at the massive holes here. So these are pictures coming out from there, which are, just the scale of the damage that's been happening overnight. Ukrainian M2A2 ODSSA Bradley IFV equipped with M2 Browning 50 HMG. This is a pretty cool right here that they put on there. It looks like that's a 50 cal on top of a Bradley. So, yeah, that's something else that they've gotten together here. Pretty cool looking. Just wanted to show you that. And the daily, and then we get to the happy rescue day. Daily work exemplifies how to serve one's country and people. I'm grateful to state emergency services for thousands of our lives following Russian strike and extinguishing over 100,000 fires and disposing of 430,000 exposure objects. Happy rescue day. I think it's from Zelensky, but here we have some pictures. This is from Ukrainians, by the way. Pretty cool here. And this right here, I believe, was from... I don't know if this is... yeah, this looks like it's from Ukraine. I'm not really sure, though. But this looks like it was from the area at the time of when the Kakakau dam was flooded and that those houses were flooded. And you can see being moved out of there. Yeah, we still got a lot more, guys, before we even get anywhere else. Now, we were nearing the end here, at least the first part. Okay. At night, the Russians fired more than a half-dozen shells at Pokrovskov, a rural community. People are whole. Head of the Dnipro Regional Military Administration, Shehi Lishak. One missile was also destroyed over the Dnipro region. So, yeah. During the day, the Russian shells Nikopolov district 4 times with heavy artillery and kamikaze drones, as reported by the head of the Dnipro Regional Military Administration, Shiri Lukshak. Again, the settlements are being examined by specialists. The consequences of the enemy aggression are being determined. Fortunately, there were no casualties among the residents. Again, great stuff. Canada will donate more than $24 million to the fund for the purchase of military aid to Ukraine. The Minister of National Defense of Ukraine, Canada posted, so Canada's jumping aboard here again. Thank you very much. Vector to action. After undergoing battlefield testing, Kyiv will receive 100 German-produced Vector UAV utilizing AI flight systems and capable of operation in non-permissive electronic warfare environment. The Vector can conduct recon and target designations missions. So here you go. Kyiv will, again down there, check this out. Kyiv received 100 German-produced to the front line. So Victor mid-range electronic power reconnaissance UAV capable of vertical takeoff and landing. It's got 2 propellers. It's a pretty cool looking thing here. AI flight controls are capable automatics. Electronic motor provides low noise pollution, so you basically can't hear what it can. 70 kilometers per hour / 45 miles per hour with a combat radius of 35 kilometers and operational endurance of 3 hours depending on payload. Modular mission payloads support recon, electronic warfare, electronic countermeasures, and targeted design operation. A rapid gambit sensor, so that's the one up here. A performance object detection, classification, and tracking. Communication systems can use both transmissions to continuous transmissions of monitoring of the live video feeds are not necessary. Onboard countermeasures and flight system permit operations in GPS compromised and adverse electronic warfare environment. So these are an insanely, capable drone. It is, amazing to see that's the support that's coming out from Germany here. It's a really impressive drone. So we're happy to see and what this thing can do, and hopefully it will help out Ukraine with their reconnaissance needs. Yeah. So, fly long, and it's going to fly for a long time, and small and dirigible. So, yeah, manageable is one of the big things. And we've got to be given 100 of them, by the way. powerful tandem MLRS Burlingvich and Yurgan sent democracy packages to occupants in Zaporizhia. Another video here for you guys to enjoy. Tons of these videos out here. We're nearing the end of these videos here, don't worry. At least these are the only videos I was able to find. I mean, there's more. Tons of more, probably. I don't know. I couldn't find any more, but check this one out. We're, So, here they are. I mean, okay, we'll keep the music on. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted for it. I don't know. So that's why. But check that out. I mean, that's just insane. You know, get the ground shaking as well. Those things are beyond insane. Don't worry, these video was taken a long time ago, so they're not in the area anymore. Don't worry about that. Just one more time here, just for good measure. I mean, they look insane, don't they? Oh, Kharkiv region, I believe we're hearing air raids going on in the background here. So, got Kharkiv region just turned on there. Okay. Ukrainian warriors are the best, even in such conditions. Notice the beauty of their native land. God save Ukrainian armed forces. So check this out. Here's another video here. I want to show you guys. Pretty cool video here. Beautiful sunset. Driving through the town. Yeah, look at that. So these are taken from Ukraine, and you can see the artillery system on the back there. And there it is deployed. Boom. They're out here having a good time, it appears. Giving the Russian some hell. So that's what they're doing out there. God bless them all. God bless them all. Okay. Ukrainian counteroffensive enters decisive stage, and the Ukrainian armed forces have a real chance to complete breakthrough the Russian defense, according to American military analyst Michael Kaufman. The expert noted that such operations are usually non-linear, so it's difficult to estimate when counteroffensives launched by Ukraine will end. However, he has no doubt that a large stage of counteroffensive is now approaching. So that is awesome to hear. A long way to big attack is coming, certainly. These are from France, I believe. So check this out right here. We have some video, some more stuff that has gone to Ukraine. The tanks there, or IVs, or what do you want to call them. I think these are put to be from France. So yeah, I mean, the Ukrainian army, you're not gonna see like the Americans had the Shermans, or you know, all the did you guys see that video? I hope you did. I'm gonna show it one more time just for good measure. Here it is. I know I showed it, so I'm gonna show it now. There you go. All right, you got it. So yeah, like the Germans had a certain type. You know, the Ukrainians have all billions types of different kind of tanks, you know, so it's amazing. Ukraine is defending against Russia. So here we have another video here. One of the last ones before we move on to another sector of this last day here. So here you have it again. I like the music on this one. I don't know if we're going to copyright it, but hopefully not. Here they are. That's a drone right there, I think. Little doggy. Water systems, mobile. Yeah. They're really getting good at the amphibious assault as well. There's a big car there. Yes, and to point out, they're not just protecting their country, they're protecting us putting their life on the line for the freedom of the world, and that's not a joke. This is not a patriotic speech. It is a truth speech because they're putting their lives on the line so we can have freedom and then we can enjoy the things that we have. And that's what they're doing. You don't forget what they're doing. You may think otherwise, but that's what I think. So, okay, done with that section. Now we're gonna go to Russia falling apart in government news and advancing or more. That's my headline for that. Russian FM Lavrov. No matter what they say, the U.S. controls the fighting in Ukraine by supplying weapons, ammunition, intelligence, and in essence, they're waging a war against Russia. No, you're waging a war against Ukraine, and the United States are helping, the same as the rest of the world. You know. Here he is stating. So no matter what the U.S. are leading, so this is what he says in this video here.
Это не изменит существа происходящего, это факт. А происходит то, что Украину подготовили для того, чтобы долгие годы готовили, чтобы ее руками и ее телами вести борьбу для нанесения стратегического поражения России. Что бы они ни говорили, они управляют этой войной, они поставляют оружие, боеприпасы, разведывательные данные, данные со спутников, они ведут против нас.
It appears to me that they're like on their last stretches, and they're trying to get as much out of us that they can, you know. Dozen of armed men on helicopters seize an oil company in Irkutsk region. Russian media is reported that the incident took place on territory of Dorlisma Enterprise. Half of employees were laid on the ground, and half were forced to face the wall. The guests took possession of all the company's documentation and actually became managers, the report said. So, it's the video of it here. I've got no idea what the situation is right now. I mean, it appears to me that there is a foreign invasion on territory of Russia. And I believe we saw the video from this yesterday, but this is another angle of it. I mean, yeah, so you see the people lying on the ground. Nobody died. There's nobody dead right here. Just to point that out. Okay, maybe there's dead people over there. We're going to move on. You can see that. You can see that. So, yeah. So, we're not gonna watch any more of that, but I want to point that out that this is happening here. So this right over here is these guys are wearing these gray suits, and these are not Ukrainian standard. This is something that Ukraine could be wearing. You know, Ukrainian special forces. I don't know, but this one right here is not standard for Ukrainian special forces. These are separate groups, and I believe that they are. There's a special legion inside Russia that's called the Russian Freedom Legion. I've seen some reports of them before. I've heard that they may wear some kind of clothes like that. I'm not really sure into what extent that they are still alive. However, this could be something that the Ukrainians are gathering. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen operations inside Russian grounds. It just baffles me that we haven't heard really anything of the Russian government yet, at least not Putin or something like that. I mean, he probably doesn't want to admit it. So I don't know what the retaliation for this is right here, but it appears to have been a successful attack. I mean, this is bigger than we make it to be, because it means that there's been a foreign invasion on Russian territory of some unknown group that we don't fucking know who did it. And nobody knows. Nobody knows who that was, because we can't claim it's Ukraine, because I don't know if it's Ukrainians. Never any flag on them. We're wearing gray suits. Ukraine don't wear gray suits, you know. So, I believe it's Russian separatists, working inside of Russia, sabotaging Russia, not, Ukraine. So, okay. For the second time in just a few days, an Ural airline passengers had to make a emergency landing in a bond docks due to hydraulic failures. And again, this is the third time he's talking here that it's happened in Russia within this year, I think. And the last time was a Airbus. Again, I think the people survived the crash. However, this is even more proof of Russia falling apart here. We don't know why this keeps happening. I believe that why it's happening is because of the people, that used to take care of these problems. They used to make sure the planes were, the works are now being enlisted and probably are working on Russian planes. You know, the planes in their army, and aren't working on commercial planes, and that's why they're now relying on probably, you know, newer people, and that's why these things are happening. So, you know, you had the people that was educated. Now you maybe need. Now you're probably using people that are educated, but probably are new or you know, quite unexperienced, and or people that aren't even educated. You know, so that, yeah, I believe that's why it's happening. And if you know, if you had the standard of people checking the hydraulics and checking if the plane is okay, that wouldn't have happened. But you know, if you don't have those people, that's why it happens. So, yeah. And earlier today, there was a report stating that Russian media report that vehicle traffic at Crimean Bridge is temporarily occupied. Sorry, not occupied, blocked. I haven't heard any reports of explosions on the bridge. However, I have my hopes. So, but again, they do close the traffic a lot in case of attacks because they've gotten pretty scared of it. But yeah. So there was a report here. Okay, so we have something here that I found pretty interesting. The Russian concentrated 52,000 of their troops in Bakhmut direction. There are 274 tanks, more than 1,000 armored vehicles, as well as 150 artillery systems, and more than 120 reactive salvo fire systems. This was reported by the head of press service of Eastern Group of Force, Ila Yiflash. In general, the forces of the Russian Federation concentrated about 150,000 soldiers and thousands of pieces of equipment in the eastern direction, is reported by Flash. Thank you, Flash, again. Many of these are reported by Vicegrad, Flash, Slava Ukraina. We're going to go through some of those at the end of the video here, just to make sure that we get the credit where credit is due. Clash report, Oinch, Defender, Oinch, Technical, Oinch. Yeah. Damaged Russian Kamov K-52 attack helicopter spotted in Kerch, Crimea, as commented by Special in Aviation. This was probably an emergency landing due to combat damage or technical failure, judging by the serious nature. Patrick, how are you doing? Welcome in. Serious nature of damage at the bottom of the fuselage. It will be extremely difficult to repair this helicopter in a special repair plant. So we got a video of that here. Check this out. Yeah. So look at the top of it as well. It doesn't look too good, and you can see the guys at the top of it. So this one right here is damaged, being hauled back. Probably either salvage for parts or probably look at that back there. Probably gonna be thrown to the fish, is what my hope are. I believe that's probably what they're gonna be doing with it, salvaging for parts. They're probably not gonna be spending much money to repair it, you know. So yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens with it. Don't think it's gonna be back in service anytime soon. I can tell you that much. It doesn't seem like it can fly right now. There's some videos here that was pretty fun to me. I didn't know about this. Russia lures impoverished Cubans with the promise of jobs and money, takes away their passport when they arrive, conscripts them into the Russian army, and sends them to cannon fodder to the front line of the Russian army. So I have a video to show you here, guys. Two young men, two young boys, it appears. They look very much like boys, I'd say. Not men in any way. The contract was a scam, and it told us it was for construction work to prepare houses devastated by the war.
Y nos dijeron que era para la construcción, para arreglar las casas devastadas por la guerra, para abrir trincheras.
To dig trenches, to pick up rubble. In the end, it was all a scam.
Escombros, y al final todo fue una estafa.
Todo fue una estafa, no nos han pagado.
Everything was a scam. They haven't paid us. We don't have our passports. We don't have our documents. We have nothing. Again, it's Russian. And I saw, and this is funny they bring this up, because I saw one time ago that there was a Belarusian flight that we may have seen land in Cuba, and I believe that there are Belarusian and Russian flights going back and forward between Cuba and either Cuba, or there's passenger planes of some sort that they're sponsoring going back and forward. So
No
yeah.
tenemos los pasaportes, no tenemos documentos, no tenemos nada. Ahora mismo estamos aquí.
Now we're here until he doesn't know what. They took away all the documents.
En cuero.
Nos quitaron todos los documentos. Nada más llegamos.
As soon as we got here in Russia, they took away all of our documents. It is the saying again. We've been to 7 different cities in Russia. No one's done anything in all the hospitals we've been to. It's all been the same.
Ciudad de Rusia. Nadie nos ha hecho nada. En todos los hospitales que llegamos es lo mismo. Nos hacen las mismas
They
pruebas.
run the
Nadie
same
sabe de
test
nosotros.
on us. Nobody, We signed a contract that told us couldn't have them translate it. They were in Russian. We didn't know what the contract said. Look at this right here. I know that they may be older than what they are, but they don't look older than they look 17, 16, don't they? I mean, they're probably in the maybe 20s or at least the 18 year, but they don't look older than that, do they? It's insanely tragic that that's what's happening. They told us not to worry, to just sign them, nothing else. After a short time, they sent us to a military unit in Ranishan and set them no, and from there they sent us to Ukraine. After a short time, they sent us to a military unit in Raishan, and from there they sent us to Ukraine.
En Riazano
We were in
estuvimos
Raishan for about 2 weeks. After
2
2 weeks, they
semanas,
told
güey.
us that we'd be
Después la
sent to a
semana nos
different
dijeron que
area.
nos iban a cambiar para otro lugar. Supuestamente un lugar
Reportedly a
mejor.
better area.
Siempre,
It's also to be a
eso
better
era
area. You're going
un
to
lugar
be
mejor.
a better
Pa' ir por un
area.
lugar
That's what they
mejor.
kept saying to them.
Terminamos en Ucrania. La
The
tercera
third
línea.
line of Russian defense.
Todo tranquilo. Íbamos
Everything was calm for a while. They trained us. Then we got sick and we came here, but now our friends are on the front, on the first line.
Nos enfermamos y vinimos para acá. Pero
Yeah.
ahora las amistades de nosotros están en la primera línea. Y nadie dijo nada de
Nobody
eso.
told us anything about that we'd end up on the front line or
Ni
even on
teníamos
the
que ir para
second
la primera
line.
línea ni para la segunda línea.
Everything about the Cubans are fine is a lie. Many Cubans are missing in action. Many Cubans whose families know nothing about them. We got all clear areas going on in the background here. And everything was a scam. The ones who gave us the contracts are Cuban women and Russian women. And that's it. They just told us to sign, and so far they haven't paid us, haven't attended to us, haven't given us back our documents. And that guy, that's why he's fucking old as shit. They got us in hospital here, and nobody knows anything about us.
Lo que necesitamos es que nos ayuden.
What we need is for someone to help us. I don't know, any way you
Traten
can.
de ayudarnos, no sé, como puedan para poder
However you can help us get out of here, because
salir de
over
aquí,
here.
porque verdaderamente que aquí. Y la otra es que no nos entienden nada.
Oh, and the other thing, nobody are here understand a word we're saying. You tell them something and they understand nothing. Nothing.
A esta gente aquí tú le hablas y ni te entienden nada.
They don't help it. They don't respond. We ask them something. They don't understand. They don't even respond.
Las mismas pruebas que nos han hecho.
The same tests they've run on us in 5 other hospitals they're doing
5
here.
hospitales atrás, las mismas que nos están haciendo aquí.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. And that's something that I found disturbing. I actually had no idea, but it doesn't surprise me. So that's, I think, why we had that Russian there, but yeah, you get it. The enemy Russia is using Soviet weapons on Lima, Cuspa sector. They said that was all have been documented, has been decommissioned by now. The Eastern troops grouping various tanks. We recently destroyed T-90 tanks. Sunishipushk. There is recorded that they are plugging holes using Soviet weapons. There are more than 60 years old and should have been written off by now, said spokesman Elena Yivlash during a telephone. Get the picture of that there. So, oh yeah. So check that out. They got the picture there. So yeah. It's the Belgorod region. Some people, this was earlier in Russia. Some people really like this after what we heard last night. Beautiful sounds. So there are air raids. There was air raids going off in Russia.
Тишина вообще абсолютная.
That was during the night, probably during the time when they got the attack on the oil depot inside Russia and other attacks as well. And now we have air raids going off in Odessa. That's live. Right there. You guys saw that video, right? Oh, yeah, I hope you did. Fuel shortage in Crimea. The Russians are having more problems. The problems with fuel supplies to Crimea is caused by disruption of logistic routes with the territory of Russian Federation. It is reported by the Central National Resistance. Yeah, 1 second. Let's do taking out because now we got these air raids going on in Odessa. Make sure nothing serious was going on right now. Okay. The S3 and F400 site DPA near Yepaturia, Crimea, Ukraine, 2023, and the 14th of September, Russian air defense forces pulled back most of the S300, F400 launch site. These images are roughly 1 hour apart, where the planned images at 0746 UTC and the Airbus NEO images 000. What I'm trying to say, like 0852 UTC. Note several vehicles have been moved from the site in 1 hour. So they're moving back the systems, which is one thing. So that was from the first day that they had all that systems there. This is the other day. And now, you know, this is from Radio and Nukes on Twitter. So they're moving back all their systems and areas that was destroyed. And that's destroyed TLB and destroyed TEL. Yeah. So that's the areas that they're moving back, and you can see it before. We had all kinds of systems there. Now there's nothing there. So it's really a sign of the Russians getting their asses out of there and saying to Ukrainians and not only to everybody that we don't want to get shot in the ass anymore. So speaking of not having much support behind enemy lines, the strength of Russia is that they know how to die in mass. State Duma deputy. So this is from a Russian Duma, which is basically like the underhouse, the parliament, right? Or state parliament, whatever. You know. Russian State Duma deputy from the New People Party, Dmitro Peskov, believes that the main strength of Russian is the ability to die in mass, reports Abet Media. He said this is a concert in honor of the 115th anniversary of the Moscow High Combined Arms Command School. The strength of the Russian army is that they can die in mass. Goodbye and good night. I am going to sleep now. I'm probably going to fall out the window later, but we'll take that when we get there. You know, speaking about support from behind the lines. A young Ukrainian girl celebrating her birthday in Bucha, and this was something here, and you can see the whole of a explosion right there. Bucha, of course, with the area with the Bucha massacre that happened. Report is that this young girl was rescued, and of course the area is now taken back. But however, the young girl was, in fact, I believe that the report said that she lost her parents. I'm not sure. I'm not going to claim anything serious here, but the belief is that is the truth there. So that's really a saddening sight. It's good to see her alive, of course, but to know the trauma a young girl like that, you know, to live through, I would never wish that on anybody. You know, children have nothing to do with what it is the grown-ups are doing. So, it's really a sad thing there. But also good to see that they're holding her birthday, and she's in her dress, and she is a princess, right? So, yeah. So that's something there. Over the past day, the Russian carried out 77 shelling at the Kherson region, firing 340 shells from mortars, artillery-grade MMLRs, UAV tanks, and aircraft. 15 shells were fired in the city of Kherson, and head of the regional military administration, Oleksandr Porkudny, they aimed at the residential quarters of the settlement of the region to an educational institute and 2 hydraulic structures in Berlaslav district, and 1 person was injured. In the industrial zone of Yekaterinburg, Polyenma, materials are burning, and according to eyewitnesses, rescuers are moving barrels with flammable substance. The area of fire is 250 square meters. Here you go again. Some Russia, I believe. So look at that behind there. That's a big fire right there. Things are just on fire. And again, this is a lot to do with the people that used to maintain all this stuff. It's just simply not there anymore. So, you know, again, really not a great time for the Russians. The carpet plan has been announced at all Moscow airports. Departure and arrival flights are delayed. So far, 29 flights have been delayed. 29 has been canceled. I think the carpet plan is when, you know, the threat of UAVs came over, or something like that. Today, the Russian Federation carried out air and missile strikes on Ukraine. Information regarding the consequences of these terrorist attacks is currently being clarified. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, during the past 24 hours, more than 30 combat clashes took place. About 100 settlements in the Kharkiv, Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson region came under artillery fire. So, yeah. During the day, the aviation of the defense forces made 2 strikes on control points, 12 on areas of concentration of personal weapons and military equipment, and 5 on anti-aircraft missiles complex of the Russian Federation. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 3 Book M1 anti-missile systems and facilities were hit in the units of missile force. All right, so move a little bit on here. More Russian invaders captured in the 1,430th motorized rifle regiment of the Russian Armed Forces were captured in Novoprokopivka region. Guys sent their greetings to the glorious sites of Berdansk and Polochin, which are forced to celebrate their birthday on today, to be continued. I think this is a video I've got of that. They're not hurt. Just want to point that out. Well, I don't know if there's any extent of injuries here, but they are captured and are placed in. They've been given water. Look at that. That's the treatment you get from the Ukrainians. For the captures, they're put in some kind of cellar or something. Well, I don't know, cellar, but some kind of staircase down. But that's where they've captured some of the Russians there. Captured. They may even have surrendered. You never know. The moment of the night explosions in Moscow region. We also have that before we're going to get on to some more interesting news here for you guys. We're going to talk about the Chechen leader. Is he dead? Is he alive? I don't know. But apparently he's something. So there's a lot of mixed reports here, but I'm going to give you it all. So here we have it. Sorry. You're going to hear the explosion. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, sorry if that got you a bit there. I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit here. Sorry, that blew out your ears. I'm sorry. No, but that was from Moscow yesterday. Either that was some kind of drone or some kind of missile attack there. Neptune, Storm Shadow, whatever it was. So yeah, the Chechenian leader, is he dead? Is he alive? So first, I heard some reports saying the intensified rumors of large Russian Telegram channels saying Kadyrov has died at the hospital in Moscow, failing to wake up from his coma. If true, Chechnya could quickly descend into chaos, creating an opportunity for the third Chechen war against Russia. That's a bit far stretched, but you get it. And then, you know, there was another one here. Chechen leader Rasam Kadyrov denied Ukrainian intelligence service claim about his illness. He published a video of his walk and invited those who cannot distinguish truth from lies on the internet and to take a walk. And his official statement in the video is, I strongly advise everyone who cannot distinguish truth from lies on the internet to take a walk in the fresh air and put their thoughts in order. The rain perfectly invigorates, he says. So take a look at this right here. I've got the video, and this is a Kadyrov. Apparently he was, you know, he's supposed to be dead, or at least in coma. But here you have it. I mean, we don't know if this is a body double or not. You know, he certainly looks a lot like him. He's out here walking, so we don't know where he is. He could be in Moscow, in Russia, or in Chechnya. His own country, of course. But here he is saying that he's fine, you know, out for a walk, breathing the fresh air. This could be in Moscow, by the way, I just want to point that out. Alright, I do think I hear some kind of mosque or something in the background, so it could also be Chechnya, I don't know. Yeah, this looks like some kind of mosque maybe back there. Yeah, so that's the video you've got of him. Now, I'm not sure, because there was another one here that I then got for the last bit here. Dean Don Kadyrov says goodbye to his family. Something incomprehensible is happening at the main criminal hospital. At least that's what his mass media and Telegram channels were according to their information. One by one, expensive cars were with Chechenian license plates of those of other subjects of Russian Federation drive into the main Kremlin hospital, but with Chechenian citizens in the cabinet. In just 1 hour, Chechenian cars arrived at the central rail station, Maybach, with 2 security cars, a Porsche Cayenne, Gelandwagen, 2 BMWs, etc. Local media wrote we will remind earlier it was to this clinic that the mass media hospitalized Kadyrov after these rumors. He allegedly posted a video of a walk recorded in Grushini. Yeah. So notice it's hard to read there, but it's direct translations, of course. And these are pictures of these cars moving in here. This is an expensive car here with Chechen license plates. So it's a big miscommunications here that's going on. So it appears that, okay, again, for those interested in Kadyrov health, Don has recorded a video published an old one. So again, you know, it's funny that they're saying I published an old one. We have no idea, because apparently they're reporting that there's people showing up at this Kremlin hospital, this main Kremlin hospital, and they're saying that perhaps he's alive, perhaps he's not. We don't know. I mean, the only problem is right now we can't confirm this, because if he's dead or if he's not, it's not gonna come out before a long time. He was systematically poisoned, by the way. I don't know if you heard about this, but reports said that he was systematically poisoned by some of the security services and his some of the ministers or something like that, and he killed one of them by burying him alive. So that was one thing, you know. That's Kadyrov for you, Don. Buried him alive. However, it's not clear where they were taken. Kadyrov advised everyone who can start separate lies from the truth from the internet to take a walk in the fresh air. Earlier today, Ukrainian media and representative of main intelligence Secretary of Ukraine Defense Ministry Andriy Yisov reported Kedra was ill and in serious conditions or in a coma. He doesn't look too good. He doesn't speak too loud, you know. So I don't know if this video is him trying to say he's okay. The area he's walking in is funny because why would he be allowed to walk in an area in Russia on his own? That wouldn't happen. He would have security staff, but he doesn't have any security staff. So he's walking somewhere where there's nobody walking by. That means he's walking somewhere where either they can keep an eye on him or he's walking in some private facilities, which means he's somewhere private. So he's either at his big mansion or he's at a hospital where he's walking around on the grounds at the hospital. And it could be this Kremlin hospital that he's walking in. So we don't know if he's published this video. He woke out of his coma or his serious condition, published the video, and now he could have gotten worse or better. No idea. So that's the reports I got for you. Apparently he's alive and well. Apparently he's dead. Apparently he's not. It's kind of hard, you know. So analyze situation here. I don't know. Suggestions point towards that he is in fact ill. Perhaps he wasn't in a coma, but perhaps he is in fact ill. So yeah. Okay, I have another one here. Ukraine hero and nice videos. I've titled this one. So we're gonna move on to this right here. This is a video of a doggy saying hi to his owner that came home from war. So check a look at this. This is a happy dog here saying hello to his owner that came home from war. Just a nice video there for you guys. He cannot control himself. Look at that. He just cannot control himself. That is, you know, just awesome to see. Remembers his owner. Happy to see him home. On Ukraine Rescue Day, we honor our Ukrainian heroes who save lives, clear landmines, and restore critical infrastructure. This is a video from Zelensky, I believe so, and therefore we will be watching this. Happy Rescue Day. This is what we got into. So it's a one minute video here, and I'm gonna let you watch this and just be quiet in the background. So here you go.
When the world crashes and the world fails, when the earth trembles and the air burns, that's when they come. People of will, courage, and kindness. Protecting from fire, from rubble, from landmines, from floods and earthquakes. Getting people out of hell. They work in water, in the air, and between worlds, holding the walls with their own hands, fighting for every life, giving their own lives. Rescuers in every sense of the word. On a day of the State Emergency Service, we thank you.
Yes, we thank you. Anybody out there, EMTs, soldiers, ex-veteran, anybody who put their lives at risk to serve their country, to give us the protection and the freedom we have. I salute you all. I am very pleased to be on the same earth as you. You deserve it all. Thank you very much. What you do, what you go through every day, what you may have gone through. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. What wouldn't be existing without you? So, thank you. Happy Rescue Day. There we go. That's nice. A little bit of sadder news here. The body of a missing British Armed Forces of Ukraine soldier found in Ukraine. Sky News. Daniel Burke, 36, was reported missing by his family as August 16. According to the Daily Telegraph, he disappeared from his apartment in Zaporizhia in early August. Burke created his own volunteer unit in Ukraine. Later, he carried out evacuation at the front. He fortunately he died in front lines of Ukraine, a true hero and a true patriot. So again, here he is to so this is him. Thank you very much. What's his name? Daniel. So thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for your service and to protecting, serving to us all. Thank you. Okay. More news here. 33 medals, including 12 gold, 14 silver, and 8 bronze. Ukraine all-time record of Invictus games. Incredible result. I applaud our team. Nasa Vushnik Vladimir Tokish Mekhalov. Holy shit. Not names here. Saritiski, Yulia Sevchuk, and Makhisim Sabov. I don't know. The exemplary Ukrainian invincibility. I think this is also a video from Zelensky, if I'm not wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Yeah, it's from Zelensky. So again, here you have it. This is just another video here. I believe this may be, I don't know if these are rescue workers, but I believe these are also sports people. Yeah, they've won, I mean, an extreme amount of you know, weightlifting. You know, I believe that when your country is at war and when you're risk at war, as Prince Harry, by the way, he was also at that area there. Just some great guys winning the wars on both ends as well. I believe that in your mind, when you are, you know, a person at war, a country at war, I believe that for some reason you just get better. You know, I think, I don't know if these guys are, you know, and let's be honest, you know, I think some of these guys were, you know, some of those guys were probably giving them a bit of the luck there, but the idea that they're serving their country probably gave them the boost that they needed to fight on. You know, Ukrainians are just incredibly persistent at whenever it comes to anything. So there you have it. You know, these are just amazing. And 32 medals, by the way. 12 gold, 14 silver, and 8 bronze. Amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. Sunday, Ukrainian sky through the eyes of our pilot. So I have another cool video here. If you've never seen that from the skies here, I want to show you this. This is from a Ukrainian pilot flying above the skies. Here you have it. Check this out. So here he is flying above the skies. It's really a cool view. I don't blame anybody if they want to be a pilot. Just take a look at this view right here. I mean, it's an amazing view. Yeah. Above the clouds there. And thank you for those guys. The pilots. Their jobs are not easy. Ukrainian soldier made his comrades promise that if he were to die in battle, they would gather at his grave and sing to him one last time. Today, his brothers in arms kept the promise. Rest easy, soldier. Your sacrifice is not in vain. Is what they are also was what they said here. So another one here. Check this out. This is Ukrainian soldiers that made promise to one last people here. Alright, they're singing. Yeah, listen to it. And you're gonna like it.
Підпирає, щоб
Yeah, and that is a great video there. I really enjoyed that. Got to stretch out as well, so it was great. Another one here. Let us honor the memory by keeping the defenders of Ukraine in our prayers. R.I.P. Daniel Herlina, Dmitro Arunov, Vitalia Kravchekov, Daniel Krushkasov. We are dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved, and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. So here you go. Pictures of Ukrainian heroes that have unfortunately passed away in this war by Russian aggression here. Lives that could have been avoided, you know. So, have a good side on the other side. See you one day. I hope I'm good enough. Another one here. This is also not someone who's dead, but I just want to bring this out. A true heroism. The Polish volunteer combat medic Kate, working with Demia Du 17 and his Polish team, has returned to the front lines of Ukraine. She just joined a special operation force team in the trench in the east. Stay safe, young hero. Here we have it. She is in fact a combat medic. She is in Ukraine here, Polish volunteer. Truly a patriot, I would say. This is the definition of what patriots do. A true hero to freedom and democracy that we serve, that we live in. So thank you very much to her, and yes, stay safe, young hero. Okay, moving on to some South Korean news. There are some funny headlines here. Okay, so South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol called possible military cooperation between Russia and North Korea illegal. He made such statement in an interview with the Associated Press agency. His statement is, military cooperation between North Korea and Russia is legal and wrong. It is contradicts UN Security Council resolution and other international sanctions, said Yoon Suk Yeol. And he is completely true and right. He also made another statement later in the day. A nuclear strike by Pyongyang, I don't know how to pronounce that, the North Koreans, will trigger decisive action response from the US and the Republic of Korea and lead to the end of the regime in North Korea, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol said. This is a strong statement coming out from this president in South Korea. He's a strong lad, not afraid to pinpoint that if the North Koreans are not behaving as they should. He's certainly one of those patriots again. EU and UN news here. Thousands of Germans protest in Magdeburg yesterday against lockdown policies. NATO and German weapon deliveries to Ukraine protest organizers claimed it wasn't about party politics, but rather about the struggle of truth for support for Ukraine in dividing the Eastern European Germany. So I got the video of that here. Check this out. So we have put the sound on maybe. Can't it just make a video without maybe blasting music into everybody's fucking ears? I mean, really? Make a fucking video without blasting music into people's ears? Can you do that? So here we have it. This is what's going on here in Germany. I'm not sure if this is a I'm pretty sure this may be an anti-Ukrainian, I'm not sure though, but you're talking about the preservation of Germany, what they're saying. Yeah, I mean, look at the people in the crowd there. They certainly look like the type of people that would do that kind of stuff. They all look like it. I mean, really. Yeah. Yeah, so that was happening here in Germany today. Not an unusual thing. It always happens, right? Okay. Breaking news. Again, this is also some other things that are not completely breaking. Like anti-NATO. Yeah, it does. Oh, Desire, you're from Germany. Welcome in, Desire. Germany announces that 26 police officers were wounded during clashes in Stuttgart between pro-regime and anti-regime Eritrean protesters. Some innocent bystanders were also hurt. Similar riots have taken place in many parts of Europe and North America in recent months. People are protesting against the help to Ukraine, so people obviously don't understand the implications that it would have to not support Ukraine, but whatever. This is their beliefs, isn't it?
Das ist ein Halsschlag.
Check this out.
Ich hab sowas noch nicht gesehen.
Stay for a few minutes. All right. Well, that's cool. You're welcome. So, look at that guy. They're screaming at them to get them away. Look at that. The police tactic right there. And there's a lot of stuff going on there in Germany. A lot of people taking advantage towards the situation there. Not playing a thought to what would happen if you didn't support Ukraine, or, you know, if they want to turn the country back 80 years. Seems to me that what they want to do, turn the country back 80 years to a dark, dark past. You know, the ideology is that they have people in parliament, they have people in the German parliament that wants to turn the country back fucking 80 fucking years, you know, to a certain era that we don't want to talk about anymore because it is a done era. You know, stupid that anybody still would want to have the ideology that's something they want to pour. Okay, well, move on to it. You know, we're gonna keep an eye on it as well. Latvia, Riga. We have a poster just posted on the sidewall here in Latvia. So check that out right there. He's filming just a massive poster of Putin, you know, in his glorified state there. Evil Putin. I think that's at the embassy as well. By the way. I think it's at the Russian embassy as well. That's the statement right there. Oh, that might be the Ukrainian embassy then. Ukraine, NASCOP. Yeah, that might be Ukrainian embassy then. That they're putting. Oh, so right across the street from Ukrainian embassy, they put out a image of Putin. The embassy is behind him. That's the Ukrainian embassy behind, and they put out right across. They put up an image of this. So I'm not sure if this is a cry. If this is them making fun of them, or if it's them making, wanting to share the idea that they hate them. I'm not sure. Okay, von der Leyen presents the EU 10 points plan for Lampedusa. No EU naval blockade coming. Italy will have to go. It will have to go at it alone. So these are because of the recent migrant exchange situation that's happening here in Italy. Italy called for a blockade to block these people coming in. However, the EU is not willing to do that because it goes against the idea of international law, funnily enough. Right? So, yeah. We have the top 10 points here. We're going to get to it now. Yeah. Okay. Reinforce support for Italy by Frontex to manage the high number of migrants to ensure registration of arrival, fingerprinting, debriefing, and refer to appropriate authorities. Support the transfers of people out of Lampedusa, including Lampedusa is a small island with only about 6,000 people inhabited, and that's where 10,000 immigrants are now, I believe, residing, including the other member states using the voluntary solidarity mechanism. Yeah. So support to step up returns by undertaking a renewed concentrated outreach to the main countries of the origin of the new arrivals. Sounds like an idea. Support the prevention of departure by establishing operational partnership on the anti-smuggling with countries of origin and transit. Step up border surveillance and sea aerial surveillance, including through Frontex, and explore options to expand naval missions in the Mediterranean. Take measures to limit the use of unseaworthy vessels and take action against the supply chains and logistics of smuggles. Increase support by the EUAA to supply a swift border and accelerated procedures. You get it. In Germany, there's a lot of protests about climate. There are probably protests against war NATO. Seems to me, yeah. It certainly seems like that to me. I don't speak a lot of German. I can understand German to a certain point, but yeah. Increase awareness and communication campaigns to desensitize the Mediterranean crossing while continuing work to offer alternatives such as humanitarian missions and legal pathways. Step up cooperation with UNHCR and IOM to adopt comprehensive routes-based approach to ensure protection along the route. Implement the EU-TU Memorandum of Understanding, MOU. Lot there. Vicegrad24, go check him out on Twitter. Thank you for supplying that. So, there was another thing here. The Serbian president has been offended. He's apparently a 50-something, 60-year-old man that now have gotten offended by the European Union. So, let me give you the report of him. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić hinted that he was offended by the European Union. The reason for this was aid to Ukraine, according to Serbian leader, the level of support for Ukraine from the EU, granting a candidate status within a year of application and potentially starting a membership negotiation to show support to Serbia was never received. Yeah, so listen, Serbia, you're behind it. Yugoslavia was never yours. And first of all, you're aligned with Russia. We don't like Russia. So if you want to get into NATO, so the EU, NATO, maybe try turning your country around a bit, So it's not that hard, really. I mean, really, just turn away from Russia. You have Serbia in the middle of the fucking middle of the EU countries, and well, not but in the middle of NATO, right there. What is it? It's still in Russian alliance to some extent, right? It's just insanely stupid, But that's something. He apparently got offended. Can't really go against it, anyways. The International Committee of the Red Cross has confirmed the status of the captured mayor of Kherson, Ilya Kulishik. Russian side submitted by Father Ihar Kulisha to the list of the prisoner, and he is on the territory of the Russian Federation. They did not say where exactly about his health. He stated that he was also updated in his personal office of coordination headquarters, said the son of the captured mayor. So the International Red Cross confirmed the status of the captured mayor of Kherson. So again, here he's in Russian territory. This is the man right here. Again, something that the Russians apparently like to do, throw their hands at, capturing mayors. Because turning mayors against the country one at a time, right? No. Okay. So weird. I mean, it's weird. And the fact that they're doing it, I mean, Russians for you. Those damn commies. Moments ago, Polish President Andrzej Duda commemorated the 84th anniversary of the Soviet invasion of Poland by laying down a raft in front of the Katyn massacre momentum in Jersey City. He's in New York City to attend the 78th session of the United States National General Assembly. Here he is. This is the statue there. So pretty cool. And he's there to commemorate that. And the reason why you see the backstabbing there is because the idea that they were fighting, in this direction, here you had the Germans, and then in that direction there you had the Soviets. That's the backstabbing. Really commemorates that, and it's true. It's true, So yeah, so sick. Neat qual got me loopy. Oh, well, welcome in, Witchy. You missed a bit. You may need to go back a bit there, but welcome in there. Sad to hear that you're sick there. Yeah, you may need to rewatch it. That's up to you, of course. A statue of the German Chancellor Angela Merkel on horseback has collapsed under its own weight. The statue was unveiled on the Temple Museum in 2021 to mark the end of her 16-year term. So here it is. In fact, though, this is Angela Merkel, and it did collapse under its own weight. Apparently, it had some structural problems. Probably the idea behind it. It only stood for 2 years, so it probably had some structural problems. But here it is standing. Here it is. It has fallen. So probably going to have some plans for reconstruction of that and making it better. They're going to put it up again is what I'm told. But as of right now, it's probably being cleaned up. I mean, it's sad, but it's what happened. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you get well soon, Richie. Which maybe should have started by saying that. European Commission called on Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia to construct it after their statement about a ban of import of Ukrainian grain routes. We are aware of the statement from some members of states regarding the unilateral measure. It is now important that all countries work in the spirit of compromise and engage in constructive interaction, said the European Commission spokeswoman. According to her, the European Commission is now focused on introducing a new system for importing grain from Ukraine. So the EU has urged Poland, Hungary, and Slovakia to back down and let the things come through. Now, okay, let's get to some more funny news here. Well, it's not funny. That was not what I meant to say. There was some other news that's funny. This is not as funny. Thousands of migrants in Italy and the Italian island of Lampedusa, have decided to break out of the temporary asylum center and now building roadblocks as a protest against the authorities. They demand to be allowed to go to the mainland Europe immediately. So we have a video of that here. Take a look, a good look at that. So here you have it. These are the migrants moving through. They're tired. Right? They do not want to be at the island anymore. Trembling on a stone wall has probably been there since the Roman era, but doesn't matter. I mean, to be fair, right? They're behaving quite well in some cases. That guy, it seems that guy does not want to go, but they're pushing him there. Take back the behavior part. He's trying to break them out there. I don't know why he's mad at that guy. I think they're saying not to have their help. This guy seems like you know, this like kind of future warlord, probably some kind of that, right? Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know when that happened. I'm not saying it was them, but I don't know when that happened. Because that sign is not supposed to look like that. So I don't know when that happened, but apparently it happened. And also those walls right there, you see, you know, the things that they're climbing on. You know, the things that guy's climbing on. Look very much like a wall that could have been there since the fucking Roman era. So, yeah. I mean, oh, you know, you get me, the boring history guy, and concerned about history. Oh my god, right? Yeah. You know? I'm not saying that's possible, I'm just saying, you know, be careful. But these are the videos that's coming out from that, and we continue to keep an eye on it. They have been, I've shown previous videos you guys have seen of help coming in, but situation is still very much out of control. It is a tense situation. The frontrunner of the Argentine presidential election, Javier Miller, swinging a chainsaw, doing it in rally. The chainsaw symbolized the cut of public spending that are in his electoral program. It's time to put an end to the cast. We are tired of politicians steal and lie. Here you have it. So yeah, he's swinging. I think the chain is off the chainsaw, by the way. I'm gonna point that out. I think the chainsaw is I think the chain is off the chainsaw. Or not. If it's not, then don't fucking swing it around so much, maybe. You say Viva la Argentina, is that what he's saying? Well, look at that, he's swinging around the chainsaw. This guy, apparently, is the guy that they want for office. I think twice before electing that guy to your presidential election. I mean, it's not got a lot of support from the people, but look at him. He's not fit for office. Come on. I look for fit office. I mean, I have no idea what his political ideas, but he doesn't look that fit to office, does he? I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation. Okay. The USA News. U.S. Senator not sending ATACMs to Ukraine would only prolong war. U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, Roger Wicker, Susan Collins, and Lindsey Graham sent a letter to the U.S. President Joe Biden urging he would send Ukrainian MGM-140 Army tactical missile systems ATACMs. Additional delay will only further undermining U.S. national security interests and extend the conflict. This conflict, and Republican Senator letter reading, stressing that Washington can send the long request weapons without any appreciable risk to its own combat capabilities. Republican senators asked Joe Biden to immediately transfer missiles. On December 21st, Zelensky will meet with Biden at the White House, where he plans to discuss the transfers of ATACMs missiles. So we have the letters as well, apparently. So that got Tim Conn. These guys are signed under on that one. This is the ATACM systems right there, and this is the letter that was sent in. I'm not going to read that, but it is true. United States Senate sent a letter in to Joe Biden to urge him to get those there, and it might be something that they're right. You know. Okay, so latest defense intelligence update on the situation in Ukraine. I've got something right there. Okay, so we have Blinken, what's his name? Secretary Blinken, stated that it is okay for Ukraine to use the ATACMS at their own session, which is a big statement. So listen to this.
Missiles 200 miles in range. Are you okay if those missiles allow Ukraine to attack deep into Russian territory?
In terms of their targeting decisions, it's their decision, not ours.
Missiles 200 miles.
So that's from Blinken, and I've never heard Blinken be so straightforward before. I just never heard him be like that straightforward. I mean, usually he's very how do you put it? Very backtrack, like, oh well, you know, you know. Now he's just like, yes, that's up to them. Yes, so you've probably been told by Biden you can say that. Okay, I didn't get you an update on Lee yesterday, and I do apologize about that. But today we have a Lee update, and there has in fact been damages. There has in fact been a lot of damage, somewhat. Lee has brought flooding parts of the South Shore, Nova Scotia. Nearly 130,000 people are without power in Nova Scotia as high winds and flooding challenged the region. We have a video of flooding from the area. It's not high flooding, however, it appears to be flooding as we expected there to be, but it is quite high wind. It appears like he lives next to a lake there. Oh, sorry, I know why I did that right there. But yeah, this is videos coming out there from Nova Scotia. I believe is up towards Maine or in Canada. So yeah. Of probably and maybe if you do it now and not. Yeah, this whole idea behind maybe do it or we're maybe gonna do it, you know, you gotta make a decision, you know. So more and more water coming in there. See, it's steep, like it's going downhill there. Appears like that's a lake. You may be living next to a lake, but it's definitely brought a lot of winds, and you can hear it in the background there. Hurricane level 1, category 1 winds. However, because it's so large, it's brought along big waves that has swished a lot of water into the mainland, especially in Maine, Halifax, along that. We have another video here that shows the effects of where Lee actually went, Hurricane Lee, and we have another one coming up as well. So check this one out. I think this is the video. I'm not really sure. No, this is another video here as well as to show the effect. This is in Federation, New Brunswick, in Canada. So these are heavy rains coming in from Canada, or in Canada. See, there's also flooding on the road there. Not as severe, however, you can definitely see the effect of Lee. And looking out to the side there, look at that. There certainly is flooding, you know. Could retract this since the start of it, so you know, this could have been a lot worse, don't worry. But there has not been any talks about fatalities, injuries, or anything like that. Some people were posting that there may have been a fatality. Somebody died during the Hurricane Lee. That is not correct. Nobody has died during the Hurricane Lee. He in fact did not cause any fatalities, and I am not aware of any injuries that happened and occurred because of Lee. The water levels are not that high. So there you go. That's another video there coming out from Canada. We have a 16-day life of Lee, Chapter 1 African Easterly Wave, Southern Intensification into Category 5, Hurricane Lee Chapter Eye Wall Replacement and Re-strengthening Chapter 3 Expansion, Post-Tropical Transition and Landfall in Canada. So it's only in Canada, I believe, that they actually did land. But we got the video here for you showing the evolution of Lee as it went over the land here. This is where it took off, and this is from the this is from Africa here, and it's kind of got a little switch out there. Now we can actually see it kind of forming up again there, and translating itself into a real hurricane. This September 6th that we also started to follow it around. There you go. Now really intensifying itself. Got that eye there. Now we are nearing Caribbean, I think. Up towards maybe Bermuda. There you go. We got the Caribbeans on the left there. Bermuda on the right. There you go. Mainland left here. It has a hurricane level 1 now. Heading up, and then it made landfall. But as you can see, it is a wide boy here. Boston, the waves going over there. Boston, Maine, all these lands right here, 1,000 miles kilometers, 1,000 miles in diameter, which is actually extended maybe in the 1,500 miles, which was something I've heard there. And Halifax, in the Maine, over all these other states that I don't know the name of. Don't assume. Oh, Rhode Island. I know Rhode Island, and New York. Well, it's not a state, but you get it. Yeah, so it's identified there, and that's all I got for you from Lee. Apparently, not much else happened there. However, actually, I got the last thing here from Lee. We had a oversight hit of Lee here, so you can actually see just how massive Lee was. Things I thought I'd never seen. Hurricane Lee from flight back from London, also landing in Boston was rough, let me tell you. So yeah, the winds, of course, landing in Boston was. Check that out right there. That is Lee, the Hurricane Lee there. It is so insanely massive. 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles, or whatever it was, is large. It's a large scale hurricane. It once was a tropical. We are lucky it dropped down to a category 1. However, it was a category 5. So if that one right there was a category 5 that made landfall towards Boston, you could have seen a lot more damage. So this right here definitely shows that it wasn't as much damage that we could have expected. However, there is damage, and people were not only without, a lot of people were without lights, and of course that is something that they're working on to get back. I think maybe some people are even back with it now, so let's hope that there is no more damage to that. Oh, thank God. It was a big boy, it definitely was. Kim Jong-un and the tribunal watching a Belarus show. I think this is in Russia as well. I was got in the video here. Belarus. So check this out. This is Kim Jong-un watching. He's right there. It's Kim Jong-un. I think it's wife next. No, maybe. I don't know. Look at those guys. Keep an eye out. Yeah, it was a lot there happening. So, and I also want to show you a picture that was taken from. I think this is from Russia, right? Yeah, normal is what I wrote. So this is a picture that was taken. So they're not allowed to be taller than him. So what they were told to do was bent down. So the picture was taken just above their kneecap. So it looks like he was taller than all of them. I just, I just going. I don't get it. I don't get why they get it like that. But yeah. So we got the last video here that came in from the man, the Kim Jong-un, who went back on a train. An armored train. Kim Jong-un returns on armored train back to North Korea. Is my last report of him, I believe. Check this out. He goes into his armored train. His wife begs to him there, I think. Wait, sir, wait on us! They probably got a different set of train to get on, right? Yeah, so, a seal? Really? Yeah. There's a seal, yeah. Okay, now we have another tropical storm coming in here, guys. Nigel has formed into a central tropical Atlantic, the 10th named storm to form in Atlantic since August 20th, the most named stores on records to the Atlantic between August 20th to September 16th, breaking the old record of 9 named stores set in 2021. Again, the world is changing. I've said it once. I'll say it again. World's changing. So I've got the video. We'll leave the GIF showing off here that this is Nigel here. However, I do believe that Nigel is not heading toward any major situations here. We're gonna get to watch a video on that one just when we're done here, and we are nearing the end here. Don't worry. So that is the update from Nigel. We're gonna get to watch that in a second here. Oh, I've got the picture of it here. This is supposed to be Nigel here, heading out towards the Atlantic here, and then heading to the right. Going to bed. All right, well, have a good night. Desire, see you next time. So here you have it again. Wednesday, I think, to saying Thursday, Friday, heading out towards the Atlantic again. So not something to definitely be worried about. However, they have talked about Bermuda being affected by it because it's still some waves that could be coming in. But yeah, so that's something we have to be keeping an eye out for. Now, I'm going to get you a video of a guy called Tim Gunner. Tim Gunner, I think his name is. He's a billionaire. So I want to show you a video. I didn't like that video very much, but we're going to see it anyways because it's educational. We need to see unemployment rise. We need to see a pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around, says billionaire property developer Tim Gunner. So I'll show you this video here. I want to hear, you have to hear what he has to talk about. And now you got to understand exactly why your country isn't doing great, because it's influenced by people that like this. A lot of money. The Gunner Group. And he's not a very normal person either. Look at the way he looks.
The problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. You know, tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. You know,
No, what happened was that the people that had jobs before COVID didn't have jobs after COVID. Why? Because businesses couldn't keep up the payment of people at home when they weren't, you know, a digital market, you know, because if you're a digital market, you can work from home and you can still have the economy work. But when you're reliant on studios for people to come to the studio and work at the studio, when you're working at a mall and people can't go to the mall, clothing stores, people have to go to buy that, you know, unless you were online, you're gonna fall, you know. So no, the idea isn't that they were less productive. The idea is that we haven't compensated them enough, and the economy hasn't recovered that much yet, so people can actually get their businesses up and going. This is,
they have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years.
They're saying that the American people, not only the American people, because he's talking about, but the world's people, right, have been paid a lot to do nothing, is what he's saying. So he's saying that, you know, we've been paid. And
we need to see that change.
Not a lot. I was working during COVID. I was working in a supermarket, right, a store, and it was a big store. I had to wear a mask and walk around for 8 hours a day. I'm not saying that my life was bad, because it wasn't compared to other people's life, but I just want to say that the fact that we wasn't paid, I wasn't, you know, the money I was given, it was good, but it wasn't, you know, amazing money. So I'd say the productivity isn't because of the idea that we haven't, you know, it's just weird. But listen to the next thing he has to say. He looks on a parent where his parents were very related. Yeah. Yeah. So listen to his next statement right there.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there is a...
So this is the kind of guy. There's a picture, very famous picture, right? Of a guy that will sit behind the workers. He will sit on his high chair, right? Being told by the workers instead of him helping his employees, right? And this is the problem, because you have people like that doesn't understand the idea behind it. He's saying that the the unemployment rate in a country like, let's say, America, where the employment rate is only at a 6%. What happens when a country in America jumps by 40-50%? You're talking about half the fucking country, you fucking idiot. Half the fucking country you want to be unemployed, to remind people, oh, you don't work for yourself. You work for the employer. What the fuck are you talking about? You work for yourself. Of course you work for your fucking self so you can bring food home to your family. It's not a hard complex, you fucking idiot. No, but it's not a hard complex, is it?
There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to...
Yeah. So his point of view is, let's hurt the economy so the people that are already struggling, right? And say, this is out in the open. Yeah, I'd invite him to go to America and say this, right? Like, listen, the America's already hurt. Sorry, the economy in many countries are already hurting. The inflation is all the way up. This idiot right here says that we need to see the economy paying so much that people can barely pay off their rents, can barely live, which is already a reality for so many people around the world. He's saying that the unemployment rate, this is a billionaire, by the way, he won't be affected by it. He doesn't understand the real life issues. He wants to say that we need to have, unemployment so high that nobody has a job anymore, so nobody can live. What the fuck is he saying? Is he trying to be smart? Because he's trying to be smart. It's fucking a really hard concept for me to factor that he's a billionaire.
Dude,
he's a stupid fucking idiot.
Are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
Yeah, so he's saying fire a lot of people so nobody has any money, instead of actually giving out the idea that maybe perhaps it has something to do with the way we're running our countries, right? I mean, yeah, sure. A lot of people have become a lot more arrogant nowadays when it comes to their professions, but that's not true. I mean, his idea is that he says that our workers, the people with families, have to be laid off their work so they're not so arrogant anymore. What the fuck is the point of that? What do you mean by people that serve their fucking families, right? Some have free jobs. Some have free jobs. Do you have any idea what happens if 50% of the country, workforce gets laid off? That's it. You don't have a fucking country anymore. You know what happened? Inflation goes way up because nobody's fucking paying taxes anymore. Who's paying taxes? If nobody has a job, who's going to pay taxes? Right. The economy's going to go down. Inflation's going to go up. Right? And nobody's going to be able to afford anything. So now you're going to have the whole country to go into and no matter what, you're going to hit a recession. This idiot right here is saying, we need to hit a recession to remind people that they need to work. What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe in reality, we should just give people some better working conditions. Show them that working harder is going to get you it's going to get you a long way in life. And I do agree to some extent that maybe people, who expect good things to happen to them without actually working is a bad thing. But this is not reality for most people. Most people are hardworking people. Some people have free jobs to support their families. There are single mothers out there. I have a story from Denmark, which I got really mad about because we have a mother who was supporting her 3 children on a 1,000 krones, which 1,000 krones, having 1,000, what's 1,000 krones in dollars, that's $143. Supporting 3 children, we're talking school, we're talking clothes, food, general food, for your whole family, right? Throughout throughout the months, right? So living on 1,000 krones to support your whole to support 3 children and still live in a home is outrageous. And he's saying that we need to lay those people off so they're reminded that they need to work harder. No, it's arrogance. That's what it is. It's when you get too rich and you forget about reality. That's what it is. I want to show you that, Yeah, it sounds like, it's Hunger Games. His idea is that we need to create doomsday so people are reminded that we need to work harder. What? What are you talking about? People are working hard. You're saying to me that there are people that are out there that are lazy, but that's their own problem. The people that want to work. So this is it's stupid. It's just stupid. There's no logical basis behind having the unemployment to reach 40 to 50%. It's half the fucking country. You don't have a country if your unemployment rate is at 40 to 50%. So then that's comparable to an African country. So you're gonna turn England or America into an African nation, a third world country. When employment hits 40 to 50%, that's a third world country. You got, so that's stupid. It's stupid. Sorry, I got a little bit mad there, but it's reality. So I don't know why. It's because you lose touch with reality when you get too rich. I mean, it really is. You lose touch with reality. You lose touch with. And he's also disrespecting the people, single mothers or even just families working 3 jobs to even pull home enough money to eat. It's a fully disrespectful thing to say to someone, to say to a whole world that they need to work harder and that they're arrogant for not working or something like that. So, okay, a little bit of a rant here, but we're gonna move on. to a SpaceX published video of them launching a satellite, Starlink satellite. The company has already launched 5,000 such satellites. I just wanted to show you this video here because I thought it was pretty cool. This is a video of a SpaceLink satellite being launched from a SpaceX rocket, probably. There you go. You can see the rocket it was come from. Okay. That's essentially what he wants, which he doesn't want the free will of anybody. He just wants, essentially what he wants is well, yeah, slaves. I mean, that's essentially what he wants, So, but that's a pretty cool video right there. It's amazing how great the quality of our videos from space are getting, because in reality, we back in the day you wouldn't get, of course you wouldn't get that, but I feel like the quality that SpaceX is bringing along is certainly a great thing here. Still a lot of news. I have 47 pages. and we're at what are we at now? 41. We're getting there. We're 42 actually. So there has been some flooding around the world. No changes there. Madrid and Barcelona continue to flood with heavy rains. Let's check this out here. I've got the videos for you guys here. So check this out. Got 3 different videos. These are videos from around. Check that out there. That's in, I don't know if Barcelona or Madrid. I don't even look at that. But again, look at that. And again, the world is changing. These guys, that guy right there is not going to earn any money today because nobody's going to sit in your outdoor area. There again. I think this is the start of it. Definitely see flooding is heaviest over here. It's going downhill. Yeah, good. Some inches of water there. Not a flooding situation area here. Another area here. Really, this is really heavy flooding, by the way. And thunderstorms. I mean, extremely. It's as if the world is sinking. I don't know why I think this, but it's as if the world is sinking. I get that flooding happens, but this frequent is starting to be weird. It's just starting to be weird. It's, Spain as well is not known for their extreme amount of flooding. It happens, obviously. It happens, They're not, without of it, but, yeah. So we also have, Lira and Valencia, Spain this afternoon. Another video here from Spain. Check this out. Well, heavy flooding going on in the area as well. That car there, trying to get through there. It's not high up, but they're flooding everywhere. And it's insane. It's weird. Weird tropical storms picking up everywhere. It's beyond my belief right now. So, Mali and Niger and Ecowas and everything in between that. The situation is getting worse with multiple clashes reported in Mali these last days. Aswat Tarech clash between Mali forces in Lere, Timbuktu region local sources point to the use of low-flying fighter jets, Su-25. Those are some older jets. Video of it here. Here we go. Again, this is gunfire happening here in Mali. There's a tank there. You see that? That was right over. Oh, that guy's full of blood. Apparently. Yeah, real discretion there. What happened to him? So yeah. That's what's happening there. For more than 2 hours, the Mali army and Wagner and the CMA coordinators of the Assad movement has been fighting outside the city of Bern. Wagner have led the column with a Su-25 and helicopter. A storm would have forced a withdrawal. And apparently a Malian L39 was shot down this evening. Mali already lost 2 Su-25s and 1 Mi-8 provided by Russia this last week. Check this out. Oh, well, there you have your answer. It's provided by Russia. There you have your answer right there. So, you know. But this is a wreckage apparently also happening here in Mali. Flash up to, I think it's a terrorist group. I'm not really sure. Or military leaders or stuff like that. Coup leaders could be that. You know, same thing that's happening around Burkina Faso and all the other countries in Africa. And we're seeing all this happening there. So yeah, they're going on with the fighting here and classical things happening there. A new Niger threat. The last development in the sign of the Tripartite Alliance, Faso, Niger, and Mali put castes from these three countries agreed on September 16, 2023 to cooperate against terrorism and all forms of aggression. Article 6 in particular underlines that each signatory country will provide military assistance and one of them is attacked. So these are what I believe to be attacked coming in. Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger signed an agreement today to create a military alliance based on collective security. Mali and Burkina Faso and previously said that they would consider an armed intervention by Nigeria and ECOWAS in Niger as an attack on themselves. So they are forming up here. To give you a, you know, if you don't know what these countries are, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Niger and ECOWAS countries consist of many of these countries here, down here, principally from the Ivory Coast, yeah, Ghana, Benin, and all these other countries, Algeria, I think, and you know these are all kind of against the aggression from that's happening from Macron, and we're gonna get to that. There's some news coming in from Macron. I want to show you a cool video here. We're gonna of course, keep you updated on this Niger situation here. We're gonna get to that. News coming in. It's all, you know, we've been going on for like close to 3 hours, so I bet there's like a million other news I haven't gotten. This 50,000-year-old meteor impact in Arizona is one of the best preserved craters in the world. I want to show you this because I came across it. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, boring history guy here, but I think it's pretty cool. Latest space reported this year. So check this out. Yeah, I'm gonna get it big here. So this is a crater in Arizona of some impact of a meteorite that happened 50,000 years ago. I mean, the pure scale of that right there as well, you know, it's amazing. Sky doesn't look that big, but, you know, the pure scale of it is you know, insane. Probably larger than most nuclear missiles. So, it is quite an insane thing right there to just point out. Armenia and Azerbaijan. Turkish military transport landing in Baku Kali Air Base in the capital of Azerbaijan. In Turkish Air Force C-130 E-68 1608, part of 222 Filo Elif 202nd Squadron Flame, based at El Ikalit, landed here in Azerbaijan. This means that Turkish military, so these are either Turkish troop or some kind of diplomatic or training or something, America one side and Azerbaijan is on the other side, and Turkey, who's in NATO, is supporting one side, and America is certainly the other side. So it's a weird scenario right here. Of course, keep you updated. there has been clashes between these forces. Stuff that I've heard is that there's been multiple shootings and some tension in these areas are quite big. I'm going to get to that here in a second. Don't worry. Okay, so we got to one of the last down here news. Recon Asia news. This appears to be one of the VUP-19 MQ-4 Triton operating out of Anderson AFB on Guam. Looks like it headed to the South China Sea and maybe to the Snapper Island area. So this is recon from the United States America Navy. So this also was over Thailand here. Sorry, Philippines, not Thailand. So there's also a reconnaissance going on here in the East China Sea. South China Sea. So more things that are happening there. Want to give you that. NATO news. This is some NATO news that I got here for you guys. So we have some NATO exercises coming up in the spring of 2024. NATO will conduct the largest exercise since the Cold War. The head of the Alliance Military Committee, Rob Bauer, 500 to 700 air combat missions, 50 plus ships, 41,000 personnel from 32 countries will be involved, training in Germany and Poland. A lot of stuff there. No, that was... Yeah. So, China's defense minister Liu Shangfu has been missing for weeks. He's probably targeting corruption investigation. Looks like things are shaky within the Chinese Communist Party here. So yeah, the defense minister apparently has been missing. He was, I think he was in. The funny thing is, because he was in Russia and Belarus for some time, and then he came back, and he was missing. There's some investigation going on between the Chinese authorities right now when it comes to corruption scams and all that, or at least some kind of, I don't know what that, and some kind of humanitarian something, and you know, long time overdue, I think. Yeah. Countermeasures training with the framework of Sea Breeze. So this is from Romania, by the way. Countermeasure training within the framework of the Sea Breeze. During this week, the main countermeasures training took place in Romania and Ukraine, as well as a number of partners countries took part in these exercises. So we have the picture of that going on here. Together, Romanian troops in Poland participating in the Polish and EFB exercise. It's an honor to sit among our dedicated guys. Romania remains a strong contributor to NATO mission and operation, especially on the eastern flank of NATO. It is an alliance presence in Romania, including Polish, and is also consistent and grateful for opportunity to see Slovakia unit enhanced inter-operational and vital both on land and especially in the skies. Adapt swiftly, act swifter. Yeah, so we got a ton of video there. Ruff, ruff. And a tiny video here. So this is from Romania here. They're coming up with their skies. There's some helicopters, some mill probably. So yeah, that is what we got there. Okay, guys, I am done with my document here. It took some time. We're gonna go on to somewhere else now. We're gonna head to Nigel Hurricane News. So we're gonna hit to talk about Nigel. So we have a one from 19 hours ago. We have one that's maybe a bit longer. We're gonna get this guy up for you guys here, and we're gonna watch that. Well, quick. Well, it appears that there are air raids turning on in Ukraine here now. Odessa, Malachi, and Kherson. Probably, I think it's near Donetsk, if you can hear it. So I don't know if it's from Kherson or in Donetsk or Luhansk, maybe. Okay.
What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, it's still very.
Go ahead and send it over to meteorologist Tyler Moore.
So I'm gonna leave you this one here, and I'm gonna turn off my sound real quick, and we're just gonna. Yeah. There you go.
Who's been tracking the tropics for us tonight? Tyler, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, it's still a very busy part of the season right now. Obviously, we're in mid-September. This is normally the peak of the season. and the map is showing it out there right now. Here's post-tropical cyclone Lee pushing through the northeastern parts of Nova Scotia there. We have Margot, who's just been spinning out in the middle of the Atlantic, and now newly developed Tropical Storm Nigel, just coming out at the 11 p.m. advisory. And then there's a disturbance that does have a 30% chance of development there. None of these are a threat to us here in Florida, so that is the good news from the start. Here's where Lee's at right now. It made landfall around 4 p.m. this afternoon near Nova Scotia. Now it's starting to weaken. Winds are now down to 60 miles per hour. Still some heavy rainfall falling across parts of Maine there and moving into Canada. But we're talking about Nigel now being the next named storm on the list. So where is it heading? Is it going to impact any land? No, the good news with Nigel is it's actually going to stay out over the middle of the Atlantic. It is expected to become the next hurricane of the season. But look at the list. We are adding up name after name. Nigel is now the 15th named storm in a row. A very busy first half of the hurricane season. Hopefully things can quiet down September into October.
Yeah. And that is what we got for you there when it comes to Nigel. Not any serious right here. Okay, let's bring you some plane news here. We're going to hit on Flight Trader. Check it out. Afterwards, we're going to get to Deep State. And then we're just going to cruise around a bit on the Twitter to see what we missed. To give you all the latest. Okay, well, we have a plane from the Russian Federation here. Russian Minister for Emergency Situation. A transport plane. A 76 TDB Lycian, so not a serious thing here. You're flying multiple times. Boeing 747. Not a lot of air activity. It is of course Sunday. However, I would expect to see maybe a bit more air activity. It's a very short amount of air activity over the U.S. Very few planes here. We got an E-3 up here in Alaska and a Lockheed Martin Super Hercules. So, and the plane there in transport plane that took off from China. Surprise, Russian transport plane. Tanker heading out from the U.S. towards Europe. Another tanker around, making rounds around here in New York. Probably refueling something. We don't know what's going on there. I'm going to head on 88 speed to see what's going on. We got a Super Hercules down here. Nothing else really is flying, so that's what I got there. But we're going to head to 88 speed, turn it on our military tracker here, and see what happens. We still have air raids going on in the background here. I believe they may be coming from Odessa, Kherson, some region like that. So make sure you got your eyes on that. Well, when you can. We're first going to launch this. We got a drone here from Turkey. Not an unusual thing to see. We got some air activity over the EU and Airbus 330-200 and another Airbus 400M Gulfstream. A United States tanker, an Airbus, 2 planes over here. We don't know what that is. A Dolphin 2. Dolphin. Sounds German or something like that. Boeing 737, Presider, 767, 737. Not a lot of reconnaissance aircraft at the moment. Sunday, not a busy day for the United States military. Not a usually busy day. So nothing really to expect there. Well, it appears to have, we have some kind of plane that went back and forth there. United States military. Maybe it looks like a little bit like a Gulfstream. We got the Super Hercules there. We got the Dorin 328. Never seen that one before. 2 planes from the Philippines. Reconnaissance or just training. Legacy. Yeah, not a lot of air activity over anywhere really. We don't really have a lot going on. Oh, we got a lot of stuff going on in Australia. Brazil military. We got Boeing 737 Columbia. Black Hawks. Nothing really there. Air activity going on here in we got an AVAC system there. nothing else really. Some training planes, some PC, yeah, PC-21. Those are propeller plane training, I believe, and a P-8. Not unusual activity. So small, and not a large state for air activity. Let's head on to our deep state map here to see what is happening on the deep end. Get it? Alright, let's run through what we can see on that and see if there's any major differences that we can see. Of course, we know areas that has been taken today. Moving along the Kharkiv region, we have to head down towards the Donetsk region as well, and down towards the Zaporizhzhia region. Here you go. There you go. That's the areas that we were talking about earlier. Quite a big push there from the Ukrainians in about a kilometer. A push matched out what we were hearing earlier. And let's check out down here where the main contestants is. Not a lot of movement here of what we know of. So that's not a lot of things happening down here. A little bit happening over here. An area was officially taken back. So that's good. That's happening over there. Biggest pushes was, of course, up here in Donetsk, and what we know of right now. Pushing some of the Russian forces back. Now, we do know that the Russians are starting to move back into this area where we have these very defensible lines. We have this one moving in here, who I don't believe was there. There we go. So look at that. There was a major shift. These guys were here, right? And from the 10th to the 11th, the 12th, they got these guys moved up, and then in group moved back. So this is the area that we now know that we got troops stationed back, you know. And, yeah. So, no pushes from the Russians in any direction, only pushes from the Ukrainians. So the Ukrainian defenses, the Ukrainian operations and defense/offensive is holding, while the Russians are currently falling every bit of the day. And I don't believe it's going to be long before we're going to see a major push through. I really don't believe so. Something is certainly cooking. Something is cooking. Alright. Well, don't really have anything more. We're going to see if the Flash has uploaded something. Maybe he's got the daily news here that we can go watch. No, there's no daily news on Flash today. So, unfortunately. Zelensky will speak on U.S. senators on Thursday on NATO visits to Ukraine's president to tell. Yeah, we know about that. Winners of the gold medals there. All right, let's see. Let's give you an update on the set MPP, shall we? I don't think there's anything really to talk about at the moment, at least. What I know of, the radiation in the area, according to Safe EchoBot, is not showing anything significant. But I will search up ZMPP because that's how nice I am. We'll see if they got the update for the how much water level there is. Yeah, no, not really anything coming up. There's nothing really. I mean, there really is nothing coming up. So look at the latest. Yeah, nothing really there. Okay. Well, then we're gonna move on. Check out the front page news. Oh. Don't know what that was right there, but something definitely happened right there. Some kind of rumbling in the background there. French President Sally Nanissustou said that there's a huge risk of Russia using nuclear weapons in the war in Ukraine. Okay. He said that the interview with the New York Times, urging Europeans not to compensate about the war and to remember that any moment the situation could change to the worst towards an escalation of the conflict. I have no idea what that was. Could have been somebody moving something or an explosion happening. I really don't know. Wow. apparently French. It's a Finnish president actually stating. Finnish is actually staging now that using nuclear weapons says. So this is weird. So the Finnish president said that there is a huge risk of Russia using nuclear weapons. It's not from some random news, by the way. It's from next top, by the way. So that's something. Not sure why he would state that, but you know, certainly things we've seen. Not only because we also know that there are videos coming out from. You know, there are news coming out from this whole Belarus thing. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna claim anything here. So I don't like putting the idea of nuclear weapons in anybody's mind. I think it's a stupid thing to put in anybody's mind because nuclear war is not a safe word. A nuke is not just a word you can throw around. Putin likes to throw it around. Putin likes to throw around the word Nazi. He likes to throw around neo-Nazi without actually thinking about the consequences. And not only because words, you know, you say words can't hurt. And you say, words can't hurt because that word there in itself has a lot of meaning to it. You know, and so it's not just something you can throw around. You know, you have to be careful. I'm never going to state that. And I think there's a very, very slow risk to a nuclear strike, but it's Russia, right? So, in Belgorod, an illustration in the shape of the letter C is on fire. Oh, look at that. It's on fire. Yeah, probably that guy who did it. It's on fucking fire. Look at that. Yeah. People do not want to support it. Nice job there. You know, until they do, I'm also going with that they won't. Exactly. Okay, a group of 7 Tu-95s over Lynchnaskov late connect to me now to told us 20 hours ago. So we got a group of those 7 and approaching Saratov group of 7 Tu-95s MS are now bombers here. Are now approaching Saratov. I believe that could be a launching show, not really sure, but there are perhaps bombing underway here in Ukraine. Keep an eye on it. I am not sure. Yeah. Oh, no. Would you look at that? Members of climate activist group Late Last Generation dosed the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin with orange paint. The protest makes it clear that this is a time for political change from fossil stations to justice, the activists said in a statement. Police are working on the site. So would you look at that? That is just sad. It's a really old memorial there. It's gonna... Yeah, Tu-95s. 7 Tu-95s are now approaching Saratov. I believe is a launching show. I'm not sure if they're going to caption and see, but apparently there is some Tu-95, 7 Tu-95s, according to Olga, on the way to a possible combat mission. Cruise missiles or something like that towards Ukraine again tonight. Well, I don't know, Witchy. You gotta ask Putin for that. Retaliation or something. I don't know. It's a war. But, oh, you're talking about this? Yeah, this, yeah, no, this is it. This is sad. Yeah, this is sad. And it's gonna cost millions. I don't know if it's going to cost millions, but it's cost a lot of money to clean up. It's a very old thing as well. It's very precious. So it's, yeah, I don't think it's, you know, it's, you know, it's one of those things that it's a bit, has a weird history, right? Because it was on the good side, on the bad side. It's been on the bad side for most of the history, but it's a history. And I, you know, if you can see it on my name, but I like history. Don't know if you can look at my name, but I like history. A boring history guy. By the way, which you probably didn't hear this, but there is rumors about Kadyrov death. However, he did post a video. I'm going to show it to you guys again. It's probably the breaking news that people were running. I heard a rumbling in the background of Ukraine here again. Just want to point that out. So here he is again. They said that he was ill, and then the reason why I think this video is weird, there's no security teams around him. He's a leader he's the leader of a country, right? And he's got no security details around him. He's walking in some, I think, a walled off area of something like that. I think he's walking in some kind of walled up area. He supposedly is in the main Kremlin hospital. Kremlin hospital. So, yeah. They're saying he's dead. They're saying he's not dead. They're saying that this is video. This could be an old video as well. But the statement he made was, you shouldn't believe the lies. So it's like a weird scenario right now. I don't really know. I mean, we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. Those who cannot distinguish truth from lies on the internet, to take a walk in the fresh air, he says. I don't know. I mean, I still, like, I'm confused. You know, these guys, they like shrouding anything they do with death. Yeah. Yeah. There's not really a lot of new news. I mean, nothing really happened. We got a video of incredible footage of a tornado that touched down near Erne, northwest France this afternoon. Damage report, no details yet. Again, you know, I said again, the world is changing. Here we have it, this is France. Not exactly known for its many tornadoes. It's out towards the Atlantic, but I never heard about it. Look at the size of it as well. I mean, look at that. The size of it is a huge tornado. Fucking ridiculous. Happens, of course, but yeah. You're supposed to, I think I heard something in the background there as well now. Oh, you heard that again. Gets torn? Or okay. Yeah, it's France, you know. The process of Ukrainian pilot on F-16 has gained momentum. I can only assure you that the process had already swifted very seriously. It was not in place, but it gained momentum. The pilots are studying and undergoing training. He emphasized Belgium has also sent people towards training in that area. To help to train them as well. So, Offset, the husband or boyfriend of Cardi B, apparently cheated on Cardi B. I don't know if you guys know who Cardi B is, but apparently her husband or boyfriend cheated on her today on a popular streamer's while a popular streamer was streaming it live. So it is weird scenario. Don't really get into that news, but you got it. Yeah, I don't really think I got a lot of other things to tell you guys. I mean, We have a video here. Okay, well, I can show you this one. BVS Bandvage Sky DAD Skydat, I don't know. 10 tracked armor all-terrain vehicles is serviced with the 38th Marine Brigade. These were donated to Ukraine by the Netherlands. Take a look here. Coming through here. Look at the back of it as well. It's kind of hurts. It was a great stream. Alright, well, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me tonight when it comes to streams. I think we are pretty much out of news for today. We're going to come back tomorrow with another one. We had a 47-page long document. We got through it in 3 hours. So, thank you for sticking by. See, a lot of news coming in. I'm going to rest my voice now. Thank you so much for stopping by, everybody who did. If you stayed throughout the whole stream, God damn, you know, leave a like if you can, if you want to, or if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I will see you on the other side. Have a good night. Follow me on Twitter if you are wanting to see more news. There's going to be retweets, and you also get to see some of the videos I can't show on stream. So yeah,